Now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Project Mastodon by Clifford D. Simak.
Mr. Secretary, may I present Mr. Hudson of,
Macedonia.
Macedonia. Mr. Hudson, this is the Secretary of State.
Honored, sir.
Now, as Chief of Protocol for the Department, I've informed
All
him...
right, Mr. Kingston, I haven't much time. I'm due at a meeting of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee at 2. If you've passed Mr. Hudson in, I'll assume everything is quite proper. Now then, Mr. Hudson, I understand you've been here several times seeking recognition for your, country.
Well, that's right. I had a hard time making your staff believe I was in earnest.
And are you, Mr. Hudson?
Oh, very much so.
You are an American, Mr. Hudson. I assume you are acting as a representative for Macedonia rather than as a principal in the matter.
Oh, no. I claim dual citizenship, sir. I am a Macedonian.
You pardon me, but I've never heard of your country.
Well, it's a new nation, but quite legitimate. We have a constitution, a democratic form of government, duly elected officials, and a code of laws. We are a free, peace-loving people, and we are possessed of a vast amount of natural resources. And
Please tell me, Mr. Hudson, just where are you located? I gathered it was somewhere in Asia.
Oh, no. Technically, you are our nearest neighbors.
That's ridiculous. Now, look here, Hudson, you can't...
If you'll give me just a moment, Mr. Secretary, I have considerable evidence.
I'll have to ask you to leave. I'm sorry, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Hudson. You've submitted a document signed by a certain Wesley Adams.
Well, he's our first president. You see, we'd like to establish diplomatic relations. After all, we are a sister republic. We'd like to negotiate a trade agreement, and, of course, we'd be grateful for assistance under the foreign aid program.
Naturally. Who wouldn't?
Mr. Secretary.
All right, Kingston.
We're prepared to offer something in return for, one thing. Sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
I understand that in the present state of international tensions, a foolproof sanctuary is not something to be sneezed at.
All right, Kingston, I think we've had enough. Show Mr. Hudson out.
All right, let's have the story again.
Look, mister, I don't want any trouble.
Just tell the story again. You want to cooperate with the FBI, don't you?
Sure I do. Sure, but I just don't want any trouble.
All right, start over. You found the briefcase in the booth.
Yeah, that's right. I brought my beer over from the bar, you know? And this fella just went out a minute before, so I figured he must have left it. I run after him.
You didn't see him, though?
No. So I just kind of looked in the briefcase. You know, I mean to identify it. That's all. I don't steal.
Then you came to us.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, after all, when I saw that stuff, well, I just figured I was way over my head, you know?
All right. Don't say anything about this, do you understand? We'd rather you just forgot the whole thing.
Oh, sure. Listen, some things I don't want to remember. You know?
Hello? Is this Dr. Harrison of the Paleontology Department? This is Mr. Jenkins at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We have some movie film we'd like you to look over. Huh? Oh, we acquired it. Big shaggy elephants and tigers with teeth down to their neck. No. No, it's not fakes. Our labs are sure of that. Whatever is on those films is real. Hmm? No, we don't know. That's why we called you. We haven't the slightest idea where those pictures were shot. We can't even guess.
Ow!
What's the matter, Coop?
One of those flying hypodermics. This is a fine, healthy spot. Mosquitoes as big as hummingbirds.
Oh, careful, son. You're knocking the climate of the capital city of Macedonia.
Yeah, some capital city. One palm tree and a Boy Scout pup tent. Wes, this is the wildest thing we ever did. What if Chuck can't get back?
Chuck Hudson is a man of many parts. Have faith.
Supposing they're putting him in jail, or something might happen to the time unit or the helicopter. We should have gone along.
Do you think they'll do it, Coop?
Who, what?
The United States. Do you think they'll recognize us?
Not if they know that Macedonia is the United States 50,000 years ago.
That's why we have to get legal recognition first, otherwise it wouldn't be safe. Well, there goes that mastodon again. Good old Buster.
Where is he?
Right there. Over by the grove, see? Ah, he's lonely.
What?
He probably is. He must have been run out of the herd by some younger bull. That's why he hangs around like some homeless dog.
One thing worries me, Wes. I know you dreamed up the time unit, and we all chipped in for the helicopter, but can you just claim territory on your own like we did?
Why not? We found it, it's ours.
Hey, Buster's coming this way. Give me the right.
No, wait. Maybe he's only bluffing.
If that mastodon comes through here, he'll stomp everything flat. I'll give him 3 steps more.
Oh, it'd be such a shame to plaster him. He's such a nice old monster.
One more step and he gets it.
Hey, that's Chuck. He's back.
I wish he could fly that helicopter better. He might wreck it.
Well, anyway, he scared Buster off.
Poke those fires up, Wes.
Oh, they're high enough, Coop.
You don't want a saber-tooth waltzing through here, do you?
Well, we better get a stockade up. You know, some night a herd of mastodon will come busting in here, and if they ever hit the helicopter, we'll be dead ducks. We'd never get back. We'd be stuck back here in the Pleistocene age. I won't feel safe till we get another helicopter.
Those mastodons carry a lot of ivory. And the mammoths up north.
Oh, sure. And get socked in the jug for smuggling ivory? The only way to cash in on the time unit is to get diplomatic recognition for Macedonia.
We've got a good case. You said so yourself.
What, a saber-tooth?
Down by the grove.
I don't like that. Sounds closer. Hey, poke up that fire, will you, Coop?
Oh, well, that's Buster.
There he is. He's tangling with a saber-tooth.
I'll lay 3 to 5 on Buster.
Cat's drawing blood. I'll take $5 of it.
Come on, Buster. Roll on him, will you?
Cat's on his head now. Hey,
he's coming this way.
Look out!
Hey, Wes, turn him. Shoot.
Hey! Got him! Is he dead?
Yeah.
The tiger's gone. He won't get far.
Neither will we.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, good old Buster. Trust him to drop dead right across the helicopter.
Well, we can fix it, can't we?
We probably won't even be able to roll Buster off of it. The rotor blades are twisted and the frame is a mess. A total mess, gentlemen. We are in trouble. Macedonia faces a crisis.
Herb, you're the key man in the administration. You swing a big stick on the hill. You can't give up on Project Mastodon now.
Les, it's been 10 years. If they were coming back, they'd be here by now.
Look, I've been working on this ever since we got those films. I've traced their lives from the time they were born till the time they disappeared. Adams was the brains. The other two were quite capable of helping him carry it out. Hudson knew all the angles.
Les, I've sneaked your appropriation through 4 times. Now, there's a limit.
But I've got the proof. We've had every paleontologist in the country go over those films. They couldn't be faked. Who would know to put lynx tassels on the ears of saber-toothed tigers? Who would know that young mastodons were black? And the location. We tracked down Adams' farm just from landmarks in the prehistoric landscape in those films. We've got to contact them.
Look, Les, even assuming it's all true, a planet has only a grand total of resources. If we get Adams' device...
Time machine.
If we exploit resources of prehistoric America, won't we be robbing ourselves of our own heritage?
Look, Herb, I've been over all that with the AEC. There's a lot of lead in southwestern Wisconsin. If we go back far enough, we can catch it when it's uranium.
The whole research project hasn't turned up a lead on Adams' machine, if it exists.
We've got to keep watching that farm. They might return. We've got to keep looking for them, no matter how long it takes.
Listen, Wes, we can't stay around here much longer. Old Buster's getting a little too strong.
Yeah, well, I'll have the time unit clear the helicopter in a few minutes. Then we'll just have to move camp upwind.
Look at him. It's only 2 days since he dropped dead. Bless his heart. Already those vultures are half into him.
I'll have him picked clean inside of a week.
Give me the hex wrench, will you?
Wes, is it all right? The time unit?
Well, we won't know until we try it, Coop. And then, of course, it's too late.
Well, either it does or it doesn't. Problem is, how are we going to use it without the copter?
Couldn't we take a chance on using it on the ground?
No, we have to get up in the air. You don't want to take a chance of arriving in the 20th century about 6 feet underground.
Wait a minute, Wes. It's got to be higher here than in the 20th century. Look, these hills have stood here since the Jurassic era. They got to be weathered down.
Yeah, I know. The only safe way is to build a platform about 12 feet high. That should be enough to clear us.
But suppose we come out on the other end 2 feet higher.
Well, we fall. Which would you rather do? Take a chance on a broken leg or stay
Yeah,
here?
okay. Now, what do we build the platform out of?
There you are, Wes.
All right, I got it. Chuck, comes the next stone.
Now, wait a minute.
Hey, look out. You want the whole pile to come down?
I'm sorry. Okay, Wes, hand it up.
Yep.
Give me.
That's about 12 feet, isn't it?
Well, it ought to be. It took us 10 days to pile it up. Look out, I'm coming down.
All right, don't start an avalanche.
Well, pretty soon we'll be able to start all over again.
Mm-hmm. If the unit works.
Yeah, that isn't all. We don't have any proof we've been back here. We'll be stone broke. Another helicopter would cost $30,000. Can't walk into a bank and borrow 30 grand to take a short trip to the Stone Age.
Wes, where do you figure we are? I mean on the farm.
Well, I think we're clear of the barn and the silo.
I hope so.
The way I figured, we're astraddle that barbed wire fence at the south end of the orchard.
Well, we might as well give it a try.
All right, I'll get the unit. You two climb up on top of the pyramid. You ready?
Think it'll work, Wes?
I don't know, Coop. Got pretty well banged up when Buster hit the copter. I haven't got the equipment to check the waveforms. All right, stand around close, bend your knees a little. Might be quite a drop.
Go ahead. Push the button.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Nothing.
Doesn't work.
Well, that's that. We're stuck.
I'm sorry, Les.
There's nothing you can do, Herb. You've been out of government for 5 years.
If there's anything I can do, the board of directors instructed me to offer you...
No, thank you.
Well, what are you going to do? I mean, now that you're retired.
I bought a farm.
Oh?
In Wisconsin.
Well, you haven't given up, have you?
I'm the only one. They closed Project Mastodon down 3 years ago, and they've been hinting ever since that I'd be happier retired. Old Bowers, he's the crackpot from Project Mastodon.
I'm sorry, Les, but it has been 20 years.
Yes, it has. But think of it. From a military point of view, hidden bases in enemy territory itself, centuries removed in time, yet only seconds away. If we had bases like that and shelters...
Relax, Les. It's all over.
Sure. It's all over.
Missed.
You should be more careful. We've only been stuck a month now. Someday we'll run out of ammo, and then it's bows and arrows.
It's cold. There'll be snow soon.
Coop, I'm worried about Wes. He takes it pretty hard.
As long as he's tinkering on that time unit, he's happy.
Oh, he isn't going to repair the unit. He hasn't got a chance. Back in the workshop with the tools, maybe.
Well, anyway, the hunting's great.
Well, maybe we better start saving bullets for big game. We won't be lords of creation around here long without our guns.
Yeah, and if one of us gets sick or breaks a leg, well, nobody lives forever.
Wes is the lucky one. He's got that time unit to tinker with. Come on. We better get back to camp.
Hey, Wes! Come on.
Wes! Wes!
There's no sign of him. Wait, there's a note on the door.
Wes!
Never mind, listen. Dear guys, I don't want to get your hopes up again and have you disappointed, but I think I may have found the trouble. I'm going to try it out. If it works, I'll be back to get you. Wes.
What, a fool?
That unit can't work. He must be off his rocker.
Wait a minute. Coop, look, that pyramid. It took us 10 days to pile those stones up.
It's gone. The pyramid of rocks. It's gone.
Oh, what the... Of all the confounded... Oh, what's going on out there? Rocks? Who dumped those rocks? My car, who's out there?
It's all right.
Don't you move, mister. I got a 45 pointed at you.
Well, I can explain.
Well, you better. There was a brand new car where you dumped that load of rocks. Who the devil are you?
My name is Wesley Adams.
Adams? Man, where have you been all these years?
Well, I don't suppose you'll believe me, but the fact is...
I've been waiting for you for 25 years. The others all gave up.
I'm sorry about your car.
Oh, never mind. I'll be right down. Now, don't touch a thing. Don't go anywhere.
Can't be 25 years. It's only been a few months in Macedonian time.
25 years. Man, it's been a long wait.
The unit must have been badly calibrated. You see, it isn't accurate for more than 50,000 years at a jump if the setting is moved.
Well, we better call Washington. I imagine you'll want the same terms as before.
Terms?
Recognition, economic aid from Macedonia, defense pact. Listen, Adams, you've got those saps over a barrel. You can get anything you want now.
The unit. I'll have to calibrate to the day to go back for them.
Oh, don't worry about it. You can have every scientist in the country working on it now. Oh, you've got them right where you want them. Hello? Long distance. This is Major General Leslie Bowers, retired. I want to put a call to the President of the United States, White House, Washington. You can tell them I'm placing the call for the President of the Republic of Macedonia.
Come on, Og, son of fire. Put another log on. It's cold.
It's good cold storage for the furs. Boy, when Wes gets back, we'll be millionaires. Furs, ginseng root, ivory.
If he gets back. It's been 5 years.
He'll come back. I feel it in my bones.
Well, he better find it before we get too old to enjoy anything. Unfortunately, there's no Social Security in Macedonia.
Don't you worry. Wes is working on it right now. I can feel it.
Hello, Charlie. Something just came through on the ticker. I want you to get a background story on it. And we just recognized Macedonia. What? How should I know where it is? Look it up in the encyclopedia. Huh? No, the item says formal recognition was delayed 5 years until communication could be established. Certain technical difficulties. What? I don't know. Wherever it is, I don't see what difficulties could hold up 5 years. It stands to reason wherever the place is, you could walk there in 5 years. Nah, it's not important. You know these postage stamp countries. Monaco, Luxembourg, they're all alike. What's so different about Macedonia?
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction magazine, which this month features the Theodore Sturgeon novelette, The Skills of Xanadu. When a malignant world endangers another, surgery is the usual answer. But perhaps there's another solution, to kill it with kindness. Galaxy magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Project Mastodon, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Clifford D. Simak and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Floyd Mack, Dick Hamilton, Charles Penman, Raymond Edward Johnson, Frank Maxwell, Robert Hastings, John Larkin, and Joseph Julian. Your announcer is Jerry Damon. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Listen next week for the Murray Leinester story, If You Was a Motlin, a tale in which the childlike natives of a strange planet pull a real switch on a red-headed female witch, and everyone doubles in brass. That's next week on X-1.
How you doing out there? Good morning. Good morning, Joey. How you doing, man? Woo-wee. What a day. It's already a day and it just started. Woo, what a day. Coffee. Coffee. I'm listening to and watching more stuff from my channel. In the evenings now, I'm more likely to put on something from my channel. When I go to sleep now, I put on some old-time radio shows and pop them on my TV and turn on the timer. And last night I listened to Nero Wolfe going to bed, and that was pretty cool. It's been a while since I've got to listen to old-time radio while going to bed. Pretty awesome. All right, I got a dog situation. Let me go check it out. Be right back. Don't go nowhere. So yeah. Was it yesterday? Was it? It was yesterday. After the show, I talked to Dennis from Thieves Like Us, the 1980s new wave tribute band. Wow, I'm real excited. Looks like we're gonna have some really good music all 3 nights. I'm still working on night 3, but I have high hopes that it's gonna work out to my satisfaction, as well as the other entertainment involved. I'm gonna need someone locally in Elsinore to find out information on food trucks. Dennis had the great, because he works all these shows and he works with food trucks a lot, he said, well, why don't you just get a food truck out there? And I thought, you know what, for 2 nights, a food truck sounds great. 1 or 2 different food trucks, right? And just get them out there and make it easy on us, right? And then one night, we're going to do a big community barbecue type thing where everybody just kind of gets together and decides what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and it'll be like an all-day thing. It'll be like, okay, we're gonna sit around and we're gonna have breakfast and we're gonna decide this is our menu. We'll probably be really basic, and then a few people will go out shopping. A few people will, circle the wagons, gather the resources. Racehorses? What's he talking about? Racehorses? Yeah. So, because of the breakfast that we're going to be doing every morning, and the one night that we'll be doing a barbecue, we're going to need griddles, the gas burners. So, in our group of friends and the group of people who are interested in going to this, and many of them are going, they just haven't committed yet. We got a lot of different walks of life right? And I'm trying to get people to do things for the party that are going to be relatively simple for them, right? We've got a friend who has worked for Caterpillar for a long time, and so he knows about generators, right, and that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that it will be easy for him to find us the right generators we need at a good price, or find a company that he knows that may donate them for the weekend, right? So I'm going to talk to him about that and see what we can work out. We need a lot of power. Right? Now, if we can rent a parking lot construction generator, one of those big generators on a trailer that has got a light pole that stands up on it, right? If we can get one of those, that would take care of our lighting for the nighttime, right? Because that one tall tower light is going to light up the whole island out where we're going to be at, or whatever area we're going to be at. So that's neat. That would be really good to have. More importantly, it would be good to have all of that power in one place, rather than to have 2, 3, 4 generators, a couple of motorhomes, or whatever it takes to cobble together that much juice. So there's that. I got to find somebody who's familiar with and possibly connected to somebody in landscaping who can get us the amount of fake grass that we're going to need for the lawn in front of the stage. We've got a year to gather materials for the stage. We'll need to find a place where we can gather them and then house them. You know, stacks of pallets for the sub-stage floor. Sheets of plywood. My brother said something about driving down from Oregon in his pickup truck and loading the bed of his pickup truck with plywood because it's cheap up in Oregon. They grow trees there, right? So, possibly so. And once again, I'm hoping my brother can get out and down here for the week of, but a week before and a week after. So at least 3 weeks. If I can get him down here for at least 3 weeks, yeah, we might get to know each other, you know? Because at this point, nobody knows anybody anymore, right? We're all so far removed, years and miles. It's crazy. Yeah, buddy. So I will be looking into getting my van up and running and worthy of the trip in the next year. Also getting a hold of or renting a trailer. Probably an enclosed box trailer, something small, but something that I can fit all of the tools in necessary for this. Any other gear that's going to be needed to pull this off. And what I'd really like to do is create a stage that says the 1980s, 70s, 80s, right? So some kind of I'm thinking we need to make a full-on room on stage that says this is the 1980s, right? And I lived through the 1960s and 70s, and this is the 80s. So I want to get a TV on stage with stuff blasting through it from the 80s. I want to get decorations on stage. You know, we're going to have a DJ booth on stage, so I want to get that, just a table with a couple of record players on it and a little mixer, but make it look like a kid's room, right? The whole stage should look like a kid's room. We'll get a way to make it look like posters and stuff on the walls, lava lamp, rug, you know, bean bags, a couch, whatever we got to do to make it look like and feel like the era we're shooting for, because I want at least one element, probably the stage, to have that overall feel of the 70s and 80s. I think it's probably going to be the stage, because that's going to be the focal point. Kind of get down to the basics of what we want to do, right? And then color it every day. This is basically what we want to do. How can we color it and fluff it up? I'm real excited after talking to Dennis. Not only is he going to come out for the 4 hours they're going to play, but they're going to come out the night before and stay till the day after, right? So they're going to come out for the weekend and hang out with us, which means that Friday night and Sunday night we might very well have some after show jam stuff going on, right? Because my intention is to have 3 different nights of entertainment, but I want each one of those nights' entertainment to be there every night, to have fun and enjoy, because they're all local Southern California people. That's what this is all about. When you boil it down, this is a picture. I can't give you a close-up of it, but that is a picture of a t-shirt that my daughter and I are recreating. I could show you on the computer, but then I'd have to chill you. So, this morning my daughter's going to get up and we're going to work on this shirt and get a graphic together. I'm then going to take that graphic down to the t-shirt place and say, okay, look, how much to make this screen, and how many do you run at a time? And then it's all about taking orders. And I'm going to do it old-fashioned way. You send me money, I send you a shirt. Period. Look, here's how much the shirt is. Here's how much shipping is. Send me that money. When I get 25 shirt orders, or whatever the limit is for production, we'll crank out some shirts and we'll mail them out. And the thing is that we've got to get the orders so that we can pay for the shirts to be produced, right? And then we have to have the shirts produced. And then the shirts have to dry, and they have to cure. The ink, the paint has to cure. Which means, okay, I've got this many orders, we're just about ready to ship out an order, make the order. Okay, the order is ready and it's drying, it'll be cured in a week. Have you got the last order? And yeah, the last order is in. We're making out labels. All we need now is to bag the shirts. Right? That's it. Boom, bing, bang, boom. Good morning, everyone. Getting excited about the reunion party. And what's neat about is Dennis from Thieves Like Us, I was talking to him, and he was very informed and knew exactly the questions to ask and everything. And he started talking about permits and legalities and security and that stuff. And I had to explain that this is a private function. We are selling tickets, we are raising money, we are doing this and this, but as a private function, we're not going to need a permit because we're holding it in a campground as a bunch of campers getting together to party. That's it. There's nothing professional about it. This is not a money-making venture. It's not a corporation. It's not a business, not a company. We will be raising money for the following year during the event, right? By selling more merchandise and, event-related merchandise, whatever. But it was, it was really neat to see his attitude change from it being a professional thing to, oh, hey, you know what, I'll bring the family and we'll stay for the weekend and we'll party and we'll have fun. And it's like, yeah, now we're talking. Now, that's what I want to hear. And yeah, we're gonna pay a pretty decent price to have those guys here, and pay a pretty decent price to get the other people to show up the act that's kind of a conglomeration of locals will try to put together some kind of package to get to them, you know, like anybody who gets up on stage to entertain and is not getting paid for it, like, you know, professionally, like the other band will be, the other bands. Well, they're going to get shirts, of course, for free. Their stay is going to be free. Their tickets are going to be free. At some point, they will get reimbursed, and if we have the money, give them a small stipend or tip or something, right? Because Friday night is real important, because that's the night that I want to get all of the locals, and I may switch. I may decide, you know what, let's do the folk night on Friday night and get the locals together on Sunday night, because there's a better chance of getting them together, right? So, and then what we might do is do folk night on Friday with, it's just basically a father-daughter guitar act that I want to get, and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works out. And then maybe have them do some more performing throughout the weekend, because they are phenomenal, and they have so many songs to their under their belt, and I could listen to them forever, right, every day. And if we could, you know, figure out enough way to shoehorn enough money into the budget to get them to play a little bit every day. And, you know, Charles with his flamenco guitar, hello, I'd love to get him there. Not just being part of the reunion, but hanging out and playing the guitar. A bunch of other old guys from the back in the day are still musicians, and they need to come and hang out and do some kind of a jam session, right? Play a couple of songs from the old days, you know. Yeah, that would just kill it, man. Just fucking kill it. So how'd the work go last night? You feeling better? Did you get puny? I always hate the first night back. I would just assume quit, then go back. I hate time off from work. Literally, when I'm on, and then I take a little time off, a couple of days of vacation. It's hard enough to do the weekend, but you do like a vacation or sick time, and you come back, and it's just not the same, right? I just feel like, this is just not me anymore, you know? I got to do something else. It's usually about those times that I start thinking about a career change, you know? I'm getting sick of this. I want to do something else. And I do. I don't know how many career changes I've had. Probably a couple of dozen, right? I mean, I'm 56. Well, almost 56. And I've had a lot of career changes. I've been all over the career map. Had a lot of jobs. Mainly because I get burned out. I get burned out doing one fucking job constantly, all the time. Get sick of seeing the same people, hearing the same bullshit, hearing the same reassuring familial promises from your employer. It's just crap. It's just bullshit. I mean, all you got to do is one fucking thing at work, and that whole "we're a family" goes out the fucking window. Yeah, get injured and see how far that lasts, right? Sure. Yeah, it lasts until they realize that you might have to go through insurance and workers' comp, and they're like, fuck this, he's going to get a lawyer. Fire him, you know? And of course they can't do that, so all they do is we can't pay for your insurance anymore, and we can't do this, and we can't support, and we can't help, and we can't, you know, can't. That's what families say, can't, right? At least from my experience, right? Unbelievable. Yeah, I don't like to take time off from work. It just makes me realize how much I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. Yeah. So let's see. I am going to now be putting together a file, a notebook of reunion stuff, big time. I've got to get information on each act. I've got to get to put together a list of things that we need. I need to post a list of materials, a preliminary list of materials that we're going to need, right? It's like, look, these are the big items that we are going to need for this, and we need people to get on board and start volunteering, not money and resources, but time. That's going to be the most important thing, is to have somebody driving home, driving wherever, and they're like, you know what, that is the right size pallet that we need for the job. Let's grab those pallets and run them over to homie's house who's storing the pallets, right? And this will be neat because all of these people are going to have to start working together again. Right? They're not just running into each other at the store or at a party or something, Now they've got to work together again. We've got to... This is what a family's about, I can't believe the amount of invites that have gone out in the last few days, right? It's like I sent out a message, a post to everyone to tag 10 people or more and share this with them. And I look, and it's gone to almost 70 people interested from like 20. And it's gone to like 420 invitations sent out. Wow. And I keep getting responses from people. I keep getting a little message, let's do this. I'm going. It's like, all right, let's fucking do this big time. If you're going, say you're going. Put it on there. Say, I'm not just interested, but I'm going. And then share it with 10 people. All right, I'm going to warm up this coffee. And then warm up my lungs. Don't nobody go nowhere. Somebody say something. Yeah, so last night we made a new dish that we've never done before. It was chicken korma. It's an Indian dish where you just kind of simmer everything in one pot. We did it over white rice, and we did some mixed vegetables roasted on a big skillet. Right? Wow, what a change that was! And of course, my taste buds are like, yes, it's different, and it tastes different, and it's not the same, and it's supposed to taste different, right? Because every time I taste something normal, it tastes different. So I can't eat normal stuff anymore. The normal stuff I eat just does not taste the same. So trying new stuff is where it's at for me. And last night's chicken korma, it was so good. She only used half of the bag of sauce, and I said, well, why don't you just freeze the rest, and we'll use it again, And my daughter, she's like, yeah, this is really good. And it was kind of iffy. It was hit and miss if my daughter was going to like it. And she loved it. Not only that, she finished her plate. Not only that, she came back a couple of hours later and finished off the leftovers. It was that fucking good. Korma. Chicken korma, an Indian dish. Just good stuff. So, so we like to try different stuff. So back to the party. Back to the reunion, festival, whatever. I think of it as a festival because it's multiple days and there's more than just a concert, more than just, hey, we're all getting together, we're going to have a dinner and everybody go home. It's more than that. We're going to have time to spend together, right? We can all get up in the morning and sit around a fire and drink coffee and eat pancakes and talk about what we're going to do that day. And then have the time to go out and do it. People are going to come out and stay for a week. So, let's go to the beach the day before or the day after. Let's plan a trip to frickin' Disneyland. Once all of this party stuff is done and cleaned up, We got 3 more days. Let's do something. And we got 3 days before the party. Let's do something. So I'm real excited. I'm real excited about this. Gets me all pumped up. I'm here to pump you up. Hey, you. What are you doing? Get to California. We're going to pump you up. I'm going to clean out my bong and get a good hit. Because I like to be rinsed. Clean water. Yeah, keep talking. I can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. So I'm hoping that by getting more people, more straight people, so to speak, right? Straight people. I'm hoping that by getting more and more influential straight people involved, that they'll realize that this isn't about a bunch of potheads getting together going, duh. It's not that. There's going to be a small beer garden, drinking, smoking area, right, away from the main. It'll still be within shot of the stage. You know, if you go over here, you can still hear and see what's going on, right? But nobody can see you. Nobody can smell. Nobody can, guys had a little too much to drink. And there will be security. There will be. I just saw somebody who invited. Was it Firefighters for Christ or something? Something like that, right? And I thought, you know what? If we can get a couple of people to show up who are paramedics or firefighters or both or / a doctor, whatever, but we need first aid. We're going to need first aid. We'll have a first aid station, but we need first aid people. We need security people. We need at least 2 security people. People who are familiar with security, right? And now the deal is that anybody who comes and helps, donates their time and their professionalism to the event, they will be they will be repaid in some way. You know, they're going to get free food and drink, free camping, free entertainment, and probably some cash. Right, a little bit of cash to help out. Because that's what you got to do. I mean, dump a little of this water out here. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get more of my influential straight people to contact directly those straight people who I want to be there but are probably thinking, oh man, crazy old weird stoner guy. Geez, he's just going to do the same thing. He's just going to sit there in the middle of the party getting high all day. Probably not. You'll be lucky if you see me have a drink or a smoke during the whole weekend, right? Because it's not about that. Once again, it's not about a bunch of frickin' heads sitting around, making time. It's just not that. I don't want it to be anything resembling that. Yeah, there'll be periods where it's like, where's so-and-so? They're over getting high. Oh, okay. And that's it. Enough said, We don't need to run people down for doing what they do. Everybody's going to come from a different way of life, a different place, And we've always been an accepting community in Elsinore, at least from what I remember. I mean, our groups consisted of so many different types of people, meaning, metalheads and modsters and punks and, whatever. So the same thing should be happening here. It should be all of us getting together with one common interest, sharing the past and catching up. That's it. That's all there is to it. Man. And of course my enthusiasm comes in waves, blanketed in my pain. I was standing in the bathroom this morning taking a leak, and all of a sudden I just started laughing to myself so hard, thinking, geez, what if I set all of this up and then I die right before it happens, and I never get to make it there, right? And I thought, well, what the hell? That's not too bad of a way to go out. Set up this whole thing, get everybody back together again. I mean, you'll be the life of the party, even though you're dead. And then I'm thinking, wow, do I need to create videos just in case? Hey, if you're watching this video, then I didn't make it. And I probably will, just in case. If I really start feeling sour, the closer we get, then I may make some videos that say, hey, people, how are you? Sorry I couldn't be there, but I'm dead. I'm taking a leak this morning, just laughing myself. I had to keep my laughing down, man. I thought I was just going to bounce and spray all over the place. Freaking hilarious. Yeah, so I talked to my wife and said, you know what, we got to get out. If there's nothing going on this weekend, let's take a drive. Let's go to Elsinore. Yeah, I really want to hold this outside, but I need a backup. If we don't get the power and the stage, we need to have that events room at the West Marina available to use, right? I feel confident that there are enough people involved, especially locally, that we'll be able to gather all of our resources a year in advance and have everything waiting on hold. And when we get there, and you know what? We may have a little kid. We're going to try to do a playground there, right? I want to get somebody who can bring and set up one of those like jungle gym swing set type things, right? Because it just has to be set up, used for a few days, and then broken back down. It can be something that can be donated for the period. I got this thing in my backyard. I can, unbolt it, pull it apart, and bring it over and set it up, and then take it back home. And it's one thing to donate something. It's another to say, yeah, we can use this, and I'll be responsible for bringing it, setting it up, dismantling it, and removing it, right? And that's the kind of help we need. Volunteerism is great. Donations are great, but we need people to donate themselves. Because I'm going to donate myself permanently until this is pulled off, and then I'm permanently back on until the next scheduled event, which hopefully will be the following year. And if we can get everybody to take their vacations at the same time every year and come and do this, even if they got a 2-week vacation and they stop by for a couple of days while they're on their way to Hawaii or Cancun or whatever. Set it up so that the first couple of days or the last couple of days of your vacation is with us. And then, take your trip to Maui. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, I'm a different kind of guy. I'm nobody's cup of tea. I rub everybody the wrong way. But I know this is going to work. It's not for me. Well, I mean, it is. I want to see everybody really, really bad. And this seems like the only way to do it, right? This is the only way to see those dozen people that I want to see and those several dozen people that I didn't know I wanted to see, right? This is the only way to do it. All in one shot. I need somebody to work on tours, right? I need somebody who can plan a route for a dirt bike adventure, motorbike adventure, right? They've got to be enduro, they've got to be highway, and they've got to be it's got to be a place that everybody's familiar with. Like, we can't do the lake bottom because there's just nothing there anymore. It's all marshland and it's all construction, but there are a lot of places that we can say, all right, let's all jump on bikes and go this way. And we have one person that's in the lead, you know, and one person that's at the end who's making sure that everybody stays together, and, you know, we're counting heads constantly and just buzz around, because I'm sure that, like, Gary knows exactly where to take a dirt bike in Elsinore and stay off of the main roads, right? Just crossing over main streets and roads and stuff. But if we can do something like that and get it set up like, okay, here's the route, here's a dirt bike place who has used dirt bikes for rent, here's how much they are, yada, yada, yada. Let's get everything set up, get your rentals in advance. Have somebody set up who knows the town, who knows the history, and will get us a big van, and we'll pack a bunch of people in and go out on a tour around the city. And every day somebody will pack people into a van and go out on the same tour and take people around. All right, the van's full today, you'll have to come back tomorrow. Trips up to the Ortegs to hike, to go to the stuff that's happening up there. Get together with the ranger station and have them do the old ranger talk that we used to get when we'd go up there, and we'd go and we'd talk to the rangers, and they would talk to us about conservation and water filtering and forestation and all that stuff. So we can really, really sink our teeth into the past. You know, the music's going to help do that. The slideshows, the memorial videos, being right there on the lake with the Ortega Mountains behind, that's going to do it right there, right? Looking into all of those familiar faces is just going to be crazy. And if I don't make it there, just know that I'm there, because all of this will be, everything there will be me. I will be in everything that's happening there. So it doesn't bother me. You know, it don't bother me. You can't let that kind of stuff bother you. If you let your mortality bother you, then you wind up like me, spending your whole life in bed, afraid of the dark, right? I don't welcome it, but I'm okay. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Everybody, you know, everybody poops, everybody dies. It's just the way it is. You can't change reality. You can fantasize about alternate, but you can't change reality. You know, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Everybody dies. How you go out, that's important. I plan on, well, I'm planning on a lot of pain, but I plan on doing a lot of fun before. So this weekend, hopefully, I don't think we have anything going on. We'll take a nice little trip down to Elsinore. We'll check out the marina, check out some other places, and I can get my ducks in a row, right? I just want that big open area out on the lake to be above water, right? Because that place, that little peninsula island place with that little strip of road to get out there that's so easily managed, right? You put a booth and nobody can get out there. Boom, you're safe. You got a pass, you got a ticket, you got a wristband. What do you got? You got some, show me some security. You know. So if that's working, I need to get pictures of that. If it's not working, I need to have an alternate. And then, you know, wherever we hold this event, it needs to be, you know, first and foremost that it's a private function. It's not one of those city things. It's not, you know, we're raising money for a private family function. We're not selling tickets to the public. It's not a public event. You have to be invited. You have to have a ticket. You have to have some form of identification that says, yes, you are supposed to be there. And if you're not, then you have to be, you know, proxied in by somebody. What the hell did he say? He's got a lot of moxie saying proxy. I see it on the beach at the lake. I keep flashing to a flat white beach like cranes. But I also see us on that island, so, you know, it could go either way at this point. Mainly because I haven't physically been there to look at it and touch it and say, yeah, this is where we're going to go. And then, you know, what does the lake level do to that? And will it change? Does it change now? Because the lake has its dam and its what do you call it? The big thing that retains water. So it's got everything. It should stay at a specific level, right? So hopefully that level is good. Now the last couple of times we were out there over the years, it was an island. It was a really nice big round spot, big enough to hold a big festival on. And I see it, you know, with a big stage in the middle, canopies around a big lawn, tents and tents everywhere, canopies everywhere, you know, and set up like a little city. A couple of motorhomes, a van, you know, some musical equipment and stuff, and more than likely, because of the amount of vehicles we're going to be allowed to have out there, more than likely we'll have the RV, which will house whoever owns it, of course, but it will be our aid station type thing. And then we'll have a couple of vehicles for the equipment and logistics, right? And then the other vehicles that have important stuff, we're going to be out there for the weekend. We don't want them parking completely away, so we'll fill the strip, that drive, right? And we'll park some vehicles on that drive so they're not officially on the island, but they're safe within our parking area, right? And then everybody else will fill up the rest of the parking lot. And I imagine that at this day and age, we're going to get a lot of people who are going to want to be there but will not be camping. They'll probably set up a canopy during the day, but they'll more than likely be in a motel, a hotel, or an Airbnb or something like that. And I can totally dig that, you know. Send the kids and grandkids over to camp, and you guys go to your B&B, you know. I myself will be camping the entire weekend in a tent and my van and a canopy, and just kind of have a little camp set up right on the lawn, like everybody else, I hope. You know, a canopy and then tents and a vehicle. With everybody else, they'll be able to bring their vehicle on, unload everything, and then take their vehicle out and park it in the parking lot. And that's how that's going to work. And you'll have to have a parking pass. You'll have to have a camping pass or a day pass. And then you'll have to have the event ticket pass. And then if you're going to be drinking or thinking about drinking or smoking, you've got to have a wristband that identifies you as an adult, so that because it's not going to be one of those, you know, let's make a bunch of money. It's going to be a family thing, but the cops are going to show up. People are going to show up and want to know what's going on, right? And you just say, hey, you know, this is a private family function, you know, invitation only, and you're more than welcome to come in and look how we've got it set up, you know, and we will have it set up so that all of the people doing the stuff that shouldn't be seen by kids is going to be way over here behind tents and vehicles and off on its own, you know. The whole family thing going on over here, you know. But it, you know, I don't foresee any problems telling them this is private, man. This is a private thing, you know. We don't need a permit for us to hold a private party at a campground. Basically, that's what it's going to be. Hi, Bessie. Do you want to go outside? You want to go outside? All right, come on. Okay. There's so many bats out there right now. It's batty. It's crazy. I'm just so darn excited, you know. Yeah, this next week is going to be all about the first shirt. And if I can come up with a shirt a month, at least a shirt a month, for the next 6 months and be selling them, then by the time we get to the event and have a few more shirts for the event, plus if I can get a printer to get together and create a poster, we may sell posters, we may do hats. I know that I really, really, really want somebody to, a vendor, right, with vending machines, that kind of vendor, to bring over and set up a photo booth. I really want a photo booth set up. It can be on the stage, on a nice solid, you know, platform, but I want a photo booth there so people can get together in a booth and do those little strips of 4 photos, right? Because those were really heavy when we went to the amusement parks. Every amusement park you went to, you got in there with your best friend and you took a side-by-side photo, right? And I'd kill for a couple of photos with friends, right? Black and white, you know, a little grainy, a little washed out, you know. So I'm going to need to find somebody who can do that. What would be great is if they could take that room that they have there, the big meeting hall, and turn it into an arcade, right? Muggy and humid and sticky. It's been like that for days. It's been kind of cool, but it's been so muggy. Man. So I love to plan. I love to make lists, schedules, and budgets and all of that. So I'm really going to be into that. I'm going to draw out the stage, figure out how many pallets we need at what size and sheets, figure out how to create a back, you know, and it may just be somebody saying, yeah, we've already got that. It's those big metal things that you stack up and bolt together and they hold lights, and now we can drop a curtain from that and have a backdrop, because we need a backdrop. We need something that we can blast up logos, insignias, the party information, slideshows, memorial videos, live stuff. The entertainers are going to want their stuff blasted up, and they're going to want a place to put graphics and stuff, right? So that's going to be a big deal. Getting the stage figured out. So I'll have to sit and I want it to feel like there's a, you know, like it's in a period of time. You know, I want to capture. Ah, man. And now my words are failing me. I know this will fix it. Yeah, I mean, just because I sit and do this every day doesn't mean that this is what I would sit and do with somebody. Ask anyone that I go out and hang out with. They may see me take a hit or two over the course of a day. You know. Sure, I'll probably do it more than that. But I don't need to rub people's noses in, you know, my issues. So that's the way I feel, you know, about the reunion. You know, is let's keep everything segregated so that we don't interfere with anyone's way of life. You know, they don't want their kids or grandkids around that stuff, so fine. We're going to keep it way the hell over there. And not only that, but it's going to be enclosed and hidden. And not only that, you got to have a wristband. You got to have ID to get in there. You know. You know, you don't want your 23-year-old kid in there. Then just say no, don't get a wristband, and they won't be allowed in there. Period. You know, I don't want my mom to know that I'm in here. Well, then don't come in here, because we're going to tell your mom you were in here. Yeah, but I'm an adult. Yeah, but come on. This is not the thing for that. You know? I mean, I probably won't spend a whole lot of time indulging in anything, because I just won't have the time. The physical wherewithal, you know. It's going to be hard enough to stay awake for an entire weekend. The good thing about camping is things don't usually happen too late. The bummer about a festival is that festivals usually probably go on all night. So there will be a time limit on music, and then there will be a time limit on partying, and then there will be a lights out because it's camping, and there's going to be a bunch of people there who are just going to want to go to sleep because they've got plans tomorrow. They want to get up and go on the tour and go bike riding and whatever. Wow. You know, there's just so many different ways and things, and big truck, but my team got it done. Nice. So I'm just reading a message here from Joey that got to me late because my thing is a lousy slow feed, and he got it done because they had a big truck. I imagine we were back to talking about work. Getting back to work. But yeah, we're going to need some big truck. I may just have to not take my van and rent a U-Haul, or do both. Probably put a U-Haul trailer on the back of my van and pack everything in there that I need. And that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to pre-design the set so I know exactly what to bring to decorate the set, right? And by that I mean the stage, you know, set the stage. And, you know, I've got to have a bookshelf. And on the bookshelf I got to have a boombox. And I got to have a lava lamp, right? I've got to have some videos and some books. I've got to have on the wall, I've got to have posters and tapestries and pictures of friends yearbooks in the bookshelf. I mean, it's got to have the whole feel. You know, I've got to have some cinder blocks and boards set up with records and a turntable, or a stereo rather. And then the DJ booth, I've got to have a DJ table set up, a couple of turntables, and an old school mixer. Nothing fancy, nothing new. No, you know, digital input bullshit. Just a little receiver and a mixer and a couple of turntables. Maybe some tape stuff too. It'd be really nice if I could have a working 8-track player, cassette player, reel-to-reel, everything kind of there in the room, so that, you know, at any given moment we can just walk over and put on a tape and turn it on. And now the stage is just there as a room, and somebody can just walk up and sit down, grab a yearbook with their friends, sit down on the carpet, and, you know, have a Coke. To me, that's it right there, you know. If we sell enough shirts for to pay for this whole event, and 24 people show up, I'm happy as a clam. I get more time with everybody. The event is not expensive for the 24 people that are there or whatever. That would be crazy. But I know in my heart of hearts that it's going to be upwards of 200 people. You know, whether everyone's camping or not remains to be seen. But I'm going to say that we're going to have upwards of 200 people attending the event. At least on one night or throughout the weekend, right? We may just get people who show up for a few hours and party and take off, and then come back the next night. Or people who just show up for one night and hang out and party and think, this is kind of weird. Or whatever, you know. I think the closer we get, people are going to start to see that they can't miss it. It's going to be one of those things that they must not miss. I quit my job to be here because they wouldn't let me off. I forgot to get the time. I didn't think it was going to be. I didn't get the time off. Damn it. Let me warm up my cafe. Oh, Bessie, what's up? What do you want to do now? What do you want to do now? Well, you're looking at the top of my head. Cut that out. Benny Hill. So, reunion. It's on big time for August of 2025. Finally. Finally gonna happen. And it's, you know, a quarter of a century into 2000, right? And it's, you think we would have done this back at 2000 or something, right? Nope. 85 to 25. So that's a 40-year reunion. Wow, 40 years. Because basically that's where we're coming from. We're coming from about 1985. There's going to be a lot of people who were there in school at that time. So that's cool. So once again, yearbooks. We're going to do yearbooks. We'll just have an area set up with a backdrop, and you'll have a chance to brush your hair and get your nicest duds on and sit down and pose. Yeah, I'm on dog patrol here. I got dogs that are waking up. What do you hear? What do you say, Sam? You want to go outside? You want to go with Mom? You're just going to look at me with those blank eyes, huh? I know what Tootsie wants. She wants some water, because, woo, she's been in there all night. And then Tootsie's probably going to want to go outside, right, Tootsie? Tootsie, Tootsie. There's that tail. Tootsie, Tootsie. Little skinny little tail. You want to go outside? Or you want to go back? Just leave that door open for a few minutes, no wedgie, so that they can do their thing, and then I can put them wherever they want to go after that. Should I bring a suit to the reunion? Yeah, a zoot suit, Holmes. Orale, with a big long chain, pants that come up to here, and some little suspenders, you know, and then a jacket that goes down to your knees with big pockets, and then a hat, you know, big old hat that looks like the wolf on the Warner Brothers cartoons. Orale, and then we can flip coins. A zoot suit. See, you ask me a simple question and I come up with these stupid answers. Why? Because I'm a fucking kook. Nah, I don't think you're going to need to bring a suit. A bathing suit, for sure, because it's a lake, and we'll probably go to the beach too, because you'll probably be there for much longer than the week. But yeah, it should be a blast. Ah, hell, you know, you might even be living closer by then. You never know. Oh, Oliver's awake too. Aw, all of the little mutts are awake. Yeah, it should be, wow. Yeah, because everybody's got to be in the yearbook. Every single person who attends has to be in the yearbook. Because if we make it an annual event, we're going to put together a yearbook for, and I'll do a professional yearbook. I will literally send it out to the same people who do yearbooks, you know, an original yearbook, right? Let me check this dog situation. So yeah, a real, not the paper ones that they do nowadays, right? I'm talking an actual hard cover yearbook, right? And you open it up, and it's got pictures of the event and people's lives, and then we get to where we're looking at, you know, photos and individual photos of people. And I want to do it just like a yearbook, right? So that we can have it published and printed and published, and or vice versa, published and printed, right? But we can have it for sale to promote the next event, right? Not only that, what a piece of merchandise to have from an event, you know? What a, you know, so I guess usually you go to one of those parties, those reunions, and you get a little pamphlet, a couple of pages, somebody Xeroxed really badly, and that's what you get. Actually wear suspenders to work sometimes. Man, I gotta get a pair of suspenders. I'm always having issues with my belt and my pants. I didn't go far. It's okay. I'm right here. Okay. I'm back, babies. All right. So let's see. We were talking about zoot suits and suspenders. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a pair of suspenders with a G-string, right, and a pair of flip-flops and a big giant floppy hat. That'll be my outfit for the party. Holy hell! What is this, Burning Man? Nah, I ain't going there. But it would be nice for people to bring 80s attire, right? Clothes that say 1980s. I got a shirt that says 1980s on it. Perfect. And it would be cool if we could do like, I don't know, a costume party, right? Where people dress up, put on a wig and some torn up jeans and say, "Woo, look at me, I'm, you know, Bruce friggin' Springsteen." I don't know. I'd have to put on a wig to do Bruce Springsteen and shave a lot. I'd have to shave to do Wavy Gravy. Jeez. So yeah, fucking A. I'm excited. I'm totally excited. Excelsior. Man. Ooh, history. I'm going to have to put together a history documentary on Elsinore, right? So we can sit and watch, you know, like In Search of Elsinore, you know, and watch a whole show, a whole little mini documentary about the history of Elsinore, the first peoples, the missionaries, the Californios, everyone, you know, and just kind of, and through the years and how it evolved, you know, and take us right up into the 80s. I don't know that I'd want to go beyond that. So that'd be kind of neat, putting something like that together. I've got a lot of that information already, photographs. But I've got a few books on Elsinore, and I can scavenge up a whole lot of other stuff to create a little, you know, 30-minute documentary on Elsinore. And then at the end of the documentary, it's leaving off in the 80s, have a bunch of us in it at the end, you know, as the new generation. That'd be cool. That'd be totally righteous, man. Choice. Totally choice, bud. Ha. Ha. Yeah, I'm getting the fever now. I have the fever. I have the reunion fever. And I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with the fever. I'm a little hot. I'm getting to bed at a earlier time now. I'm really trying. Last night I wasn't so early. It was more like 10 or 11. But I'm trying. You know, I'm trying to not take such a huge nap during the day, and get to bed a little earlier. You know, do as I say, not as I do, right? If I'm going to talk to my daughter about keeping a decent schedule, I can't be all over the frickin' map myself, right? What does that say? What does that say? I don't know. Fuck. What the fuck does it say? Yeah, there's a few different places around the lake that we could hold this event. Hold this event. Hold this. So I really need to get down there, and I need to check out these places. So I'm going to plan a little jaunt around the lake and hopefully pull that off really soon. Now that everything's flowing, I need to put together a video of what's to come. So I need to get get footage. I need to get a more clear picture of it in my head so I know how to describe it in detail so that others will go, ooh, ah, right? The biggest thing that I see, the most important element to this that I keep seeing in my head is a stage and a giant lawn in front of it, right? Big giant lawn in front of it. And then along the outskirts of the lawn, canopies for the people who are camped and the people who are hanging out all the way around, you know, and then at the end have it kind of open so that you don't have to be on the lawn, you don't have to be in the canopy, you can just be walking by and see what's going on, and then have a food truck and barbecue and food stuff set up, you know. We'll have places where you can get a water and donate, right? We'll hopefully have like big baskets of fresh uncut fruit, and then a big cooler filled with, you know, just your average sandwiches, just regular sandwich. Here's some veggie sandwiches, here's some, you know, some potted meat like tuna or chicken sandwiches, and here's like some deli meat sandwiches, right? And you know, you're looking at, hey, there's sandwiches here. Yeah, well, donate some money for tomorrow's sandwiches and grab a sandwich, right? And because you'll be paying for a ticket to be there, right? And there'll be a food truck, right? And there'll be food happening, and it'll be, look, we're looking at this, you donate $5 or $10 per plate, you know, and that's what we're looking for, is a donation, because it's just going to help the next day's food run, right? And we'll be making food runs right up to, you know, Stater Brothers for the quick stuff, and over to like what are you, Sam's Club or whatever they got over there, Costco. And it's like, okay, who's got the card and who's making a Costco run? Here's your list, go. You know, and they'll eat breakfast and take off and do that and come back by lunch, and we'll make sandwiches, and that'll be lunch, and we make a bunch of extra sandwiches for the day. Easy peasy. Have a lunch truck show up in the evening for the event, you know, for the music and the dinner time stuff. And then one night do a big barbecue, you know, and keep it simple. Burgers and dogs and brats, and, you know, if other people want to say, well, you know, I got a big giant bag of chops from Costco, well, let's fucking throw them puppies on there too. Whatever. It'll just be a big communal barbecue. Look, we've raised this much money throughout the weekend so far through donations, and we've got extra. Let's buy a bunch of burgers and dogs and buns, and, you know, make potato salad and macaroni salad, and open a big pot of beans and have a barbecue, you know, an old-fashioned barbecue. You know what a big lawn, a big giant grass lawn says to me? It says one-legged race, potato sack race. It says kids running around in circles going, vroom, vroom. Couples getting up and dancing during the music, right? A lawn to me says community, right? And it's, so to me it's important that we get a big lawn. It doesn't have to be real. I'm not going to go there for 6 months ahead of time growing a lawn. It would be nice if that whole island was grass, but that ain't going to happen. And so no matter where we hold it, I want to have a big giant roll of grass set up for us. I don't know how, I don't know who or when or where we're going to get it from, but it's got to happen. Just like we've got to have a little playground, maybe a bouncy castle for the kids, right? And we're going to be looking for people to go out and find these things for us, and preferably get them donated, and if not, get them at a really, really discounted price, right? I need people to say, my uncle's got one. My aunt works for this company over here. My brother-in-law does this. You know, that's what we need. That's how we need to pull this off. Because back in the day, that's how we did parties. You know, that's how we did a barn party. That's how we did any kind of event that we did as a group. That's how we pulled it off. Just like the Little Rascals. You know, I got costumes, I got a broom, and we'd put on a show. And this has got to be the same thing. It's got to be everybody who's coming has to have some kind of involvement, even if they just bought a shirt. You know, I bought 3 shirts. Dude, you just paid for so much. You know, that's it. That's it right there. The first shirt to come out should be out within a month. All right, we're going to design it this week. We're going to get it to the printer by next week. We're going to get screens made, and we're going to get some test shirts done. And I will be wearing a shirt on this show every day until somebody buys a freaking shirt, you know. And then as soon as we get one shirt up and running, we're going to work on another shirt and get another. So every month we'll have a new shirt coming out for 6 months. And then we'll be just selling shirts like hotcakes, hopefully, to get this, you know. And it's not a business. You're donating money for this event, and a donation of $50 or more gets you a shirt. A donation of $100 or more gets you 2 shirts, right? It's just a reciprocal thing, right? We're selling shirts, so to speak, but we're not doing it to get rich. We're doing it to raise money. We're doing it to pay for the venue. We're doing it to pay for the entertainment and some food and some logistics. That's what we're raising money for. So it's not a business, it's not a company, you know. You want a shirt, donate $50 or more, and I'll have to work out the tax. Not the tax, the shipping. There's no tax on a donation for a private function. It's not like I'm going to be pocketing any of this money, so there's no tax. There shouldn't be any tax stuff involved, right? It's all a private function, a family event, family members exchanging money. I don't think there's an issue there. Lo and behold, somebody will show up and say, "Oh, you can't do that. You got to have it this, that." And I'll go, "You ain't invited. Go away. You ain't family then." We need people who are, positive problem solvers. That's what we need. People who can think about this stuff all the time, whether they know it or not, and all of a sudden a piece of their brain says, "Hey, you need to talk to that person about the event. Remember the event? Talk to that person. Oh, that's right. Hey, we're having this event and we need this thing, and you do that stuff, and we need that stuff, right? I need somebody locally who's going to find me the lawn. Somebody locally who's going to stack pallets in their backyard until the event, and keep them covered up and safe and not warping. It's got to be a family event on a professional level. Can I say that? Is that a thing? It's a thing if I say it. Yeah. And keep it on the up and up, So, none of the money goes into anybody's, what do you call it? Own personal bank account. In fact, I'm just spitballing here, but we may mix it up so that it's like, okay, this batch of shirts you buy through this person through their PayPal, and then this batch you buy through that, so that no one person is taking an income hit to their payroll, to their PayPal, that says $5,000 or something, right? $2,500, $6,000, whatever. Because that would be unfortunate. So it needs to be okay, like, it goes into my PayPal and then into my bank, and then I pay for the stuff, and then that money then gets rolled into, it'll probably just turn into cash, because that cash is king. Cash is the easiest thing to deal with. I'll probably just get a, what would be really neat is to get a big glass sparklets water bottle and take rolls of specific amounts of money and drop them in and mark on the glass bottle, right? And just have hash marks for how many bundles are dropped into the center of this thing, right? And then at some point at the, at the event or at the end of the event or something, right before the event, break this water bottle open and pull out all of these bundles of cash to pay for the certain things, right? I don't know. Cash is king. It'd probably be better to do it in some kind of account or something, but then you got to deal with legal logistics and all of that, and all of this money, what's it going for, and did you pay tax on it and all that shit, and that's kind of dumb, especially for a private event. So I don't even want to get into that whole side of it. It'd be better just to say, okay, look, in fact, why not just say, you know what, send to my post office box, send a cash check or money order, right? Preferably cash. Just send cash in an envelope, wrapped in paper, of course. You wrap the money in paper so you can't look there and go, ooh, look, there's money in there. Or one of those envelopes that, just send the money, send the cash, send a check, send a money order, send me your address, and I will put you in the specific batch that we're waiting for. And then when that batch is printed, you get your shirt, and hopefully we'll get enough orders that the batches will happen regularly, frequently. Yeah. The first shirt is going to be a complete vintage shirt. It is going to be a shirt that you would have been able to buy in 1980 in Elsinore from the penny saver or from the local newspaper or magazines or whatever. And I have that ad, and I have the shirt on the ad, and I'm just gonna, my daughter and I are gonna recreate that shirt. And that'll be the first shirt for sale. And I'm hoping that at $50 a donation, and I think what that'll do is $50 donation gets you the shirt and the postage. And then we skim the rest for the party, right? And that's it. We skim the rest of the money, pay for the shirt printed, and take the rest of the money, and it goes into the donation pile, bottle, whatever. And I think that's going to be the way to do it. Every batch, cash out the account, or just cash all of the checks and money orders. And if you know what, maybe we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. If you really want a shirt, then you're going to do it the old-fashioned way. You're going to get an envelope. You're going to go to the post office and get a money order. You're going to fill it out to me and memo T-shirt design number 1, right? And extra large. And put all that on a money order and send it to me with a message explaining, and maybe I'll have a form on the thing that you can print out, and it'll have all of your information on it, your name, your address, a photograph of somebody you want in the memorial video and their information, right? Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Boy, I'm a smart guy. So, yeah. My head never stops thinking about this shit. Never. I wake up thinking about it. I go to sleep thinking about it. I dream of it. the closer we get, the more it will encompass my every thought and my every day, my every waking moment. We'll be thinking about this. Right now, I think about it a lot. Just constant images flashing through my head about, you know, people, the event, the music, the camping, the outings, the food, the people. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little excited. All right, I'm just a little excited. Just bear with me. A little excited. Gotta warm up my coffee. Jeez. Totally just worked. Totally excited about this. Totally pumped. I'm here to pump you up. Yeah. Let's go to the reunion. Let's get together. Let's get pumped. Everybody come to California. I will be the governor of the festival. You will call me the governator. No, really, man. No. Really? Oh my god, no way. Like, for sure. Did he really say that? Yeah, man, he totally said that. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Cheers. Now there's a good 80s show. So I've got this home version of Cheers. I think it's a board game, right? Trivia game. It's unopened, and I think we are going to be opening it there at the event and using it. We're going to have, you know, plenty of time for people to sit around and play cards, checkers, chess, Monopoly, Sorry, Mousetrap, and that Cheers trivia game, and other stuff. Battleship, right? Maybe we'll have some battleship competitions, you know. Who knows? There's so much to do. There's going to be, you know, a whole week. There's going to be the 3 days, the 4 days and the 3 nights, right? And that's. It seems like it's a lot of time, but I don't think it's gonna go by. It's gonna go by so quick. I don't think it's gonna be much at all. It's gonna be a drop in the bucket. Yep. Drop in the bucket, yeah. Drop in the bucket. I just flashed on people from Temecula and Murietta in the 1980s. Murietta Madness Party. You know, big giant tree and a party underneath it. You know, a barn in the middle of nowhere and a party inside of it. You know, a campground up in the Ortega Mountains and a party there. You know, somebody's house party. There's a concert, everybody goes. And if you're not going with everybody winds up there anyway. And you say, hey, what's going on? Hey, hey. You know, my friends and I took my father to see Iron Maiden at the Orange Pavilion. And My brother wound up there. My sister wound up there. All of my other friends wound up there. Hey, I saw you there. Hey, I saw your dad there. Hey, yeah, I saw your dad beating people up. It was crazy, how you go to a place thinking you're the only one from your hometown, and you see 20 other people. It was just crazy. Southern California back then was a really small place. It's because there weren't many people. Now it's the world is a smaller place, but California is so huge now because there's so many people. There's just so many people. Hi, Betsy. What do you want now? You want to come in this chair? Come on up here. Come on. You want to go outside? You want to go outside again? I don't know what you want. You're just giving me the Sphinx. You're giving me the blank stare. Oh, you just want attention. Okay. Hi. Hi. How are you? How's it going? Hi there. How are you? Yeah, big Bessie face. Big Bessie face, yes. I'll take you home. Big Bessie face, yes. She's a big girl. There you go. I know, but I gotta drink this one. So, I gotta drink my coffee. I know you would drink some, but you can't. So, I'm going to be coming up with shirts to sell. At the same time, I'm going to be coming up with a budget, right? I'm going to start putting together all of the required funds and where they go, right? My services are free. Everybody who gets involved with this, their services will be free unless they're hired gun entertainment, right? We will have, hopefully we will have a lot of volunteer entertainment, and we can have hired people out there preceded by local entertainment, local volunteer entertainment, That's going to be real important to get local people from back in the day to get up there and perform, okay? That is going to be so important. I'm going to get entertainers up there for 4 hours, all right? 4 hours. They're going to take 3 half-hour breaks, and they're going to be up there for 4 hours. Okay? Actually, they're going to be up there for 4 hours, and they're going to do 3 hours of music, so it's going to be 3 20-minute breaks, I think is what he said. However it works out, we're going to get 3 hours of music. So in between the music, we'll get up, we'll do announcements, we'll talk, we'll hand out ribbons for people who are dancing, during some of the song sets, we'll do dance contest stuff. We're just I'm going to put people in charge of event, games, fun. Okay, look, you're in charge of kid stuff. If we have kids there, we need to have a plan for kids. You're in charge of that. Go. All right, now we're going to have 3 nights of music and entertainment, and we need things to fill in certain gaps having to do with kids and friends and family and entertainment and dancing and costumes, and go. And then go to the next person. Look, if we need somebody to get there 2 days ahead of time and build the stage and be ready to house the other stuff that goes on the stage for the backdrop and the lights and everything, go. Next. Make a list, post the list, and have everybody say, yeah, I can do this, I can do this. Don't take on more than one thing unless it's ready. But I'm this is going to come off bigger than anybody thinks that it will. Yeah, this is going to be one of those things, and the closer we get, the more people are going to realize that, oh, holy hell, I better donate and get a shirt and get to this thing. Maybe your shirt, donating and getting a shirt, and that's going to be your identification, right? you have to show up in a shirt in order to say, I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to enter, purchase a ticket and enter, right? And basically the ticket just pays for helping, or pay for another donation. I'm wearing a shirt that allows me the right to make a donation and get a wristband and come in, or whatever. Help me, people. I'm like a one-man show here trying to figure all this out. And all I can do is spitball it. All I can do is just keep throwing it up against the wall and seeing what happens. Scribbling, erasing, scribbling. Yeah, that'll work. Make a note of that. Totally. So I'm going to get guys who are familiar with construction equipment, that kind of stuff, to find out where we're going to get our generators, some lighting, porta potties, probably a tractor to come over and clear everything out, and I'll get permission from the property management to do so. Free tractor work? Hell yeah, go for it. So, yeah. I'm so pumped up about all of this. I am so pumped up. I'm here to pump you up now. Everybody get together. Come together. Everybody get pumped. I'm here to pump you up. Right? Am I gone? Am I gone anywhere? No way. Really? Ah, holy hell. What do we got here? Oh, here we go. To go into this hard drive here and pull out some pictures so that we can take a look at some pictures that I found yesterday. All right. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll start here. And we will, this is Throwback Thursday. Let's throw down and throw back and take a look at some people from the past. All right. So if there's anybody watching now, familiar, because I've got a couple of people there, anybody familiar with people from the 70s and 80s? Who's this guy? Anybody? Can anybody tell me who this is? Oh, I love that guy. All right, anybody? Anybody? I'm going to wait and give it time to get to comments and get somebody to type in here. Totally, man. Totally. Ah, look who it is. Yes, Kendra, that is Van. It's Van, man. Is that awesome sauce or what? Good morning, Kendra. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you at the reunion next year. Things are getting real. Real crazy. Yeah, that's Van. Oh, look at these cheesers. Look at how dirty and grubby I am. My gosh, in those Magnum PI shorts. Oh, that's crazy. Look at that. It's just too much. Yeah, I can't wait. It just gets better and better the more I work at it. It started off as an idea and a hope a couple of years ago, and now it's actually starting to become a real thing. And with a whole year to plan, it should be phenomenal. And since I'm planning early, it should be great. It should just be, wow, off the hook. Oh, Lord. There's Gumby in behind me there. Ah, jeez. Oh, boy, those were the days. Ah. Yep. The good old days. Yeah, so I just saw the other day that 420 invitations have been sent out, and there are almost 70 people interested. If you're interested and you're local and you think you're going to make it, then put on there, I'm going. The more people who let me know that they're going and actually RSVP, the better we can set it up logistically. You know, we need the stats. You know, I need to set up the charts and graphs and get everything lined. I need them ducks just walking around going, yes, sir, quack, quack, sir. Yeah. Fucking A, man. Fucking A. I'm getting a little misty-eyed again. So yeah, this is going to be all, putting this together is really going to be on a heavy volunteer basis. Wow, look at those kids. We're really going to have to get people working at different jobs to make this, you know, actually happen without fail. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to say Stephanie, Andy, Laura Sparks maybe, and then my sister, and then Paul. Right? I'm going to go with that as a final answer. I think that's who those are. Hey, the old man. There he is. He always used to come into a... Ah, Debbie, okay. Debbie, I thought it was Stephanie for some reason. My father used to always come into a room of us sitting there, like smoking or doing something wrong, right? And he would come in and he would just stand there, right? And he'd usually have on these dark Ray-Bans, right? Looking like a frickin' police detective. And he'd walk in and just stand there. And my friends would turn around and just start sweating. Man, there's a fucking cop standing there, son of a bitch. And they'd freak out. And I was like, oh, man, don't look at him. Don't look at him. You know, fuck with my friends over it. Ah, it's just my dad. But he always used to look like that. He'd show up looking like that and freak everyone out. Hey, Robert and Brandy. Aw, my brother and sister at the Vonderschmidt home on Zeller Street. Now that'll be a spot on the tour, right? That house. We'll go up into that neighborhood. Drive down Blackwell. And just do a round the lake tour. Stop offs at certain photo ops or whatever. That'll be... that'll be great. I'm not exactly sure what photos are coming up. I just know that their scans are copies of photos from back then. So, oh, there we go. Andrew and myself in a great Iron Maiden shirt. I've got a Judas Priest shirt on today. I had my Iron Maiden shirt on the other day. Yeah. Those were the days. That was during my short hair period. Kind of a surfer mullet, I guess. My hair had started to darken. My hair was really, really light at the beginning of the 80s, really, really blonde light. And then by the end of the 80s, it was closer to what it is now, kind of a dishwater brown, you know. Should be a dishwater blonde, but it's just almost a reddish brown now. I ain't gray yet. Ah, we're at the dentist office now. So my wife bought me that jacket. We were out looking at Levi's and stuff, and I went, oh wow, that's the jacket that I had when I was a teenager back in Ortega High School, right? And I wore that jacket everywhere in the wintertime. And I don't remember what happened to it, but last Christmas, my wife handed me this big puffy package, and I opened it up, and there was the jacket, exactly like that, brand new. I cried. Like, hi, Bessie. How are you, Big Bessie face? What do you want now? You're not getting my coffee. No, you're not getting ahead either, so forget it. My father's dog, Bessie. Bessie? Yeah. Yes, I remember you cutting my hair in your backyard. Yeah. I also remember frying balls in your pool and in your garage. Those were the days. Yeah, you know, you gave a mean haircut. Totally. Yeah, I remember spending a lot of time hanging out at your house, swimming, hanging out in the neighborhood, stopping by for a beer, a smoke, you know. Let's go over to Kendra's and hang out and play pool and shoot the shit and see what's going on, you know. Yeah, those were the days. I think I went through the neighborhood a couple of years back, and, you know, every time I go into Elsinore, I've got to take the same route. I've got to go through the avenues and look at everybody's old houses and then drive around, look at all the old stores and parking lots and hilltops and, gee, what's changed, you know? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't have a lot of haircuts back then, honestly. I wasn't into haircuts. So when I got a haircut, it was a big deal. Like when I walked into Rich and Charlotte's bathroom once, and I had long, you know, Motley Crue hair, and I came out looking like Billy Idol. I just walked in and started chopping with a pair of scissors, and then had Hoser come in and fix it for me, you know. I figured, well, his sister cuts hair, right? Angel, doesn't she cut hair? Hey, Hose, get in here, fix my hair. Oh, okay. High school. I think I broke up with a girl or something, and I was feeling depressed, and I was like, fuck it, I'm cutting my hair. Yeah, those were the days. I know, huh, Bessie? I don't know what it is you want from me. You have a sphinx face, and you don't reveal anything. I love you, too. But what do you want? You want to go outside? You want to go back outside? Are you just feeling like an outside dog today? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I love doing this show from my living room, you know. Oh, I better change this guy here. Who is this guy? What's that? Oh, look, so this is, pardon me, I'm loud. This is our trip to Yosemite. That's me taking the photo, of course. And that's Andy, my sister, and Brett. And, yeah, we lost Brett a year or so ago. And before that, we lost his brother, and then before that, we lost his mother. So that whole family's gone, I'm sorry to say. And it hurts really bad because I was so trying to reach out and get in touch with Brett. And it just never worked out, you know. And I remember this trip vividly. It was a pretty heavy trip, and there is Brett. His family took me in when I was homeless, as did many families that I knew then. And so I tried to repay that as often as I can. Pay it forward, pay it sideways, pay it back, however I can. I try to help out a friend or stranger, you know. Look at these schmucks. Look at these schmucks. You can tell that it's September. Look at all the new denim. Oh, they kill me. Yeah. Boy, were we a rowdy bunch. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm starting to get nostalgic big time again.
So pardon my silence as I drift back.
Ooh, here's a good one. Here, this one goes back to 1973, right? There's Robert. There's my father. There's my sister. I don't know who this is. There's my mother. This guy looks like Leonard Nimoy. And that's me. That lost little child there. I totally still feel like that kid. That is Sierra Madre Canyon in 1973. I'm about 5 years old here. Maybe 6. And I'm pretty young. This is 1974, January. So it's possible this was printed in January, and this is probably our Christmas swing set. Oh, there's that dog again. In and out and in and out. I feel like a burger. I feel like a double-double. Get some water. Don't bottle. All right. Next. Hey, look at these guys. Look at these guys. I hope Corey is gonna be there. I can't remember who said he was gonna be there. If he was gonna try to bring him Henry, or someone said that he was gonna try to get Corey there. I know the Bonderschmidts are gonna be there. So far, I've got thumbs up from 3 different Bonderschmidt clans. So, and 2, 3, including myself, 3 Mondre clans are going to be there. I'm hoping that we get representatives from all of those families back in the day. Yeah. Wow, this is at Home Depot, I believe. I believe this is at the Home Depot in Elsinore. Back in 91, I'm going to say. Totally. Oh, wow. That's my old man. And I'm going to say this is about 19... 64, 62, let's say 62. I'm going to say that he's 16 years old, and he's at a gas station filling up a truck for a fire crew. He was a juvenile convict at a fire road crew camp up in the mountains in Los Angeles County, I believe, because he lived in where at Azusa area. So whatever county that is, he's working up in the mountains in that area on a fire crew. Yeah. And he didn't even smoke cigarettes. At least every once in a while I'd see photos of him with cigarettes in his mouth or in his hand, but he would say he's just doing it for the photo. I don't know about that. I don't know. So I think maybe he did smoke cigarettes on occasion when he was younger. But that's the old man. Let's see if I can get a zoom here. There we go. And you can just see on this side of his face is a little bit swollen. Can you see that? All right, this side of his face is a little bit swollen, and there's a little dark spot on his nose, right? I never noticed that before. All right, so the story goes is that they were working on a fire, and a tree came down, and a branch came off of the tree and smacked him in the face. All right. And it smacked him in the face and beat him up pretty good. But one of the things that happened was a burning pine needle poked him in the nose, right? And it put into his nose, in a dot, in one spot, it put into his nose a bunch of ash and tattooed a little dot right on his nose, right? And I never realized that this photo had been taken so close to that event that you can still see the event on his face. Wow. What a throwback this is. Crazy, man. Totally crazy. I can't remember where this was. Yeah, I know he told me. Oh, look at these schlubs. 1987. I'm just going to give a moment of silence here for this. So that's my van, a 1965 Ford Super Van. Nothing inside. It barely has an engine cover on the inside. It was literally falling apart. It ran great. It was old, and I was inexperienced. You can see Brett sitting on the battery here, underneath a piece of wood, and the battery is the top of the bench, really, and the piece of wood there is kind of supported by the battery. I mean, it's quite ridiculous how we had this thing, or how I had this thing set up. But I got this because I was homeless, and I kept relying on people to take me in, and I wanted to be able to kind of take care of myself, which is why I got it. You know, I didn't want to keep, sponging. Here's my guitar. I still have this guitar. Still have that guitar. Look at this pair of Nike high tops. White Nike high tops. Probably a hand-me-down from Andy. I got a lot of hand-me-downs from Andy. He was kind of a clothes horse. when we were young. And his mom would just buy him tons of clothes. And he'd wear it, and like, this isn't me anymore. Or, yeah, my mom got this for me, but I don't really like it. Here, you can have it. And I don't know why I'm following my leg here. Look at that leg. Check out the gams on that guy. Look at this. It looks like... I remember what day this is. So, here is... James here, and he is wearing his Honda shirt. He's a helpful Honda guy, and this is when he had started working at Honda of Corona. Good old James. Let's get a zoom in on James here. What a good-looking kid that guy is. Doesn't he look like one of those 70s TV show guys? Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be kind of weird or anything, but I always loved the way James looked, right? Actually, all of us, we all had these different faces and features that would just make, we could have made such a great movie back then with all of us, right? Because we were all so weird and different, you know? He looks like that broad from that movie. Oh, man. Oh, wow, man. Far out. There's a throwback. So this is Fallbrook, 1970. I'm going to say Christmas of 77. Or maybe Easter, I don't know. This is my mother, my sister, my cousin Tina, my cousin Elaine, and my father's mother, my grandmother, Opal, and then me here in the middle. And at this point it looks like I was still small, but starting to put on a little bit of weight. I went through lots of changes in my appearance within a year. Man, I feel like I'm twice this size. But yeah, so that's Fallbrook, 77. Oh, wow. A Sunnymead shirt on Michelle there. So two of these people are no longer with us. Both girls are gone. Michelle and Brett's mother, Pam. I haven't seen David in decades. I sure hope we can get David to come. He lives in Texas, I believe. Wow, I didn't think that looking at old photos was gonna shake me up this bad. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore about this one. This one really hits. I lived with all three of these people. David and Michelle, they're on top, of course, were married and had a kid together and then divorced. Pam, Brett's mom, took me in and let me live at her house and found me a job and took me back and forth to work with her to Corona, and really took care of me. And then later on dated my father, and my father and her had a relationship, and it kind of screwed up our relationship eventually. But she's still a very important lady in my life. And then David's family, the Rose family, they took me in, and his mother took care of me. And he lived there off and on during that period. And then, of course, Michelle, I wound up living with Michelle for a couple of years when we were a couple in the early 90s. So this is a really heavy picture for me, having gotten so close to all three of these people. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Oh, look, it's that guy again. It's him again. Are we going around in a circle? Oh, no, here we are. Look at these guys. This is outside Rich and Charlotte's house in a little Triumph or Mazda or something. One of them little tiny convertible jobbers, right? And of course, once again, here's James, because he just lives around the corner. Here I am, in leather, of course, borrowed probably from Andrew. Here's Pat Killingsworth. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get his sisters there. And here's Chris, the Birdman, Ostrich. Hopefully he'll be there if we can get enough people to reach out to him. Kendra, if you're still there, reach out to the Birdman and tell him you want him there, please. He doesn't take me seriously when I talk because I was never serious. I have lived with Chris off and on. The last time I lived with or near Chris was up in northern Nevada 15 years ago when he brought me up to help him run a painting company, right? And so he kind of, is probably the only person who really, really knows me, who I am, or at least as close to who I am, right? So he never takes me seriously because I'm always a goof, right? And I don't know that he is really going to take me seriously until other people start pushing on him, And here we are on our way up to his house, walking by Lisa's house, I think is over here. We're on our way from his house, walking down to Rich and Charlotte's, past James's house, and we're set up to go get rowdy. I got my parachute pants on and my swap meet t-shirt and Andrew's members only and my swap meet bandana. I don't even think I brushed my hair. Probably a pair of borrowed shoes. And of course, denim and a flannel was pretty much Chris's usual attire. And I think he's got a t-shirt in here somewhere. He's probably got a t-shirt tucked in his back pocket. I wasn't a shirtless guy. I was always wearing a shirt. Where is the Birdman? He is in Mammoth. He is living and working in Mammoth still. I will shoot me a message later on to remind me in Messenger, and I will forward you the phone number that I have. His phone number has been unchanging for decades because of his work. So I'll shoot you his number. He doesn't get on Facebook. He's got a Facebook account, and it also shows he's active, but he's not. He's not there. He hates Facebook. He hates social media. But if I get a few key people like you to call him up and say, you got to be there, dude. It's a year away. You got to be there. Plan for it. He's just telling me that he's got too much shit going on, and I'm like, dude, it's a year away. So, I honestly, I think he thinks it's going to be 6 people to getting together, sitting around drinking beer, eating fish we caught that day. It's not going to be that. So I need somebody to let him know, and then get a couple of other people to let him know. Man, I can't wait to see you there. You're coming, right? You know. Yeah. It's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh, there we go. Gotta zoom out. And go. Whose room is this? Can anybody tell me whose bedroom this is? That's my mullet haircut. My VK's vest. Now there's something I'd like to try to recreate for the event. Yeah, anybody out there tell me whose bedroom this is? I got an idea, but I'm not sure. Now the paneling and the tile up here on the roof kind of give me a clue as to it being one of 2 possibilities, but I would really like input from somebody watching to give me an idea if I'm in the right ballpark. That's what I thought. I remember hanging out here and looking up at those tiles, those square tiles on your roof. You had square tiles on your ceiling, right? And wood paneling on your walls. And these seem like the kind of posters and stuff that you would have had on your wall, because these are all guys. These are all hot-looking rock star guys, right? And the corner of this table looks familiar. Didn't you have a Bullwinkle lamp in your room? Rocky and Bullwinkle, right? Am I making too clear of a picture for you? Is this an add-on bedroom? Yeah, because I have always got the feeling from this that it was your bedroom, hanging out. And I just remember, a table with a lamp that had a Rocky and Bullwinkle thing going on. And I remember square tiles on your ceiling. I don't know whether I was stoned or frying or something, laying down, looking up at your ceiling going, whoa. Yeah, boy, those were the days. Yeah, this is totally taking me back. All right, moving on. Uh-oh, there's that kid again. There's that kid again, looking rowdy, looking tough. Hey, check me out, man. Why'd you have to look back at the explosion? Huh? Why? Oh, man. Okay, so Blaine's going to be there. Blaine's coming. I'm going to get Blaine there, come hell or high water. Even if he's going to drive one of his rigs there. The guy stole a rig to get there. Whatever. I'm going to put him on a bus, a plane, however it is. I'm going to get Blaine there. Put him on a beach cruiser and have him run to 3J's. He used to go everywhere on that thing. He used to go from his house over, like on Marshall or something. No, that wasn't it. Was that it? No, Monroe. Over. He used to go from over here over there, and he used to ride his beach cruiser over to the to Chris's house to go to school. And Chris's mom was the teacher in the private school, and it was a whole thing. Kendra remembers. But I think he fell out of a tree once and broke his arm, or maybe that was in the story I wrote. I don't know. I've been writing down a lot of stories having to do with the whole era, you know, starting in junior high, and kind of taking everybody in their own little areas, and then eventually starting to mix us together as we get into high school and stuff. But this is how I remember Blaine. I always remember Blaine, and then later on a motorcycle, but this is, or in a big giant New York or giant boat car, you know, one of them old 70s, 60s, 70s jobs. But yeah, boy, these are taking me back. Oh my goodness. I'm doing it to myself again. You know what's going to make me cry is these shorts. I loved those shorts. They were so gaudy and 80s and ugly. Pam and I did a lot of this. I didn't get along with my mother too well at the time, so I had a lot of this with Pam. I also had a lot of this, not necessarily this, but I had a lot of this with Chris's mother, Jan. I had a lot of this with Andrew's mother, Shar. I had a lot of this with Steve's mother, Marge. And I got a lot from each one of those. Yeah, that's Romeo. That is Romeo. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? He's like, I'm right here, don't worry, I'm right here. I ain't going anywhere. I had to give him up, but I gave him up to a lady who needed, she was an older woman, and she needed a friend, and I just couldn't take care of 2 dogs anymore, and he was so dependent on somebody. So she adopted him and took him in, and she was an older lady who wanted to retire and move home to England, and she stayed a couple of years extra and worked a couple of extra years so that she could get his passage to England and take him back with her. So he wound up having a really good life. Juliet and my father's dog Muttley in the early 90s got poisoned by some asshole at Woodchuck Trailer Park up in Temecula. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, that's good old Romeo. It was chain and choker chain and flea collar. And that's me and Pam hanging out, Brett's mom. Same house. There's Pat in his Judas Priest Turbo Lover shirt. And those shorts again. And a doobie. I'll smoke to that. Yeah, love indeed, baby. Yep, that's the shit. She loved those plants. Pam loved those house plants. She had 3 or 4 different areas in her house set up with shelves and lights. And every Sunday morning, I'd get up with her and hang out and drink coffee and get high, and she'd water her plants and listen to Billy Ocean and dance around. And I loved it. I mean, she was the most awesome person. She was an oncology nurse, so she saw a lot of bad and took care of and gave a lot of good, right? And here I go again. Yeah. There's the old man in Vietnam, probably not too far from his girlfriend and child there, living with Mama San on occasion, and that I just recently found out that he did have a small family there and made it very difficult for him to come home. So there you go. There's that. And there we are. The terrible trio. And our babysitter, our guardian gypsy. Turtle, turtle, turtle. We were a bunch of grubby little rats, I am telling you. And Robert, he looked like one of those kids that you would see in one of those Saturday morning shows, you know, about the kids going off to rescue some old man trapped in a mine or some shit. But I mean, look at us. We were just so weird. I'm still the weirdest person I know. I'm still this kid, you know. Hiding behind a smile. That motorhome, the Sightseer 2, that was our home for years. And we took it everywhere. Everywhere. There's the old man again. If you haven't watched it, check out the slideshow that I created, the Vietnam slideshow of my father's Vietnam slides. A friend of mine up here, David, put the music to it. And I still, every time I watch it, I cry. It's just, you know, it's real. Yeah, it's got these photos in it. But these are, I'm just going through a file of stuff that I printed out to put on my wall behind me. So it's just a bunch of us throughout the decades, 60s, 70s, 80s. I need more coffee. I can get it all. Whisker biscuits. Whisker whiskets.
Ah, cheese.
Yep. Just a dog. Just a dog.
It's just a dog.
Yeah, there's the old man with George, his short timer stick there. They're in Vietnam. I won't even try to remember how to pronounce the name of the place that he's at. Alright. This is a great one here. Sierra Madre Canyon, 1973, 74. All right, that's a great one there to look at. I'm going to grab a little half a cup of coffee here. Oh yeah, that's a great one. So my sister there, she's probably about 2, between 2 and 3. So I'm between 5 and 6, 4 and 5, 5 and 6. So yeah, so we're young. There's my mother, looking like a hippie. There's the, who is this lady? She was a babysitter, I think. Oh, where's my saucer? All right. I scavenged a half a cup out of the pot. My wife's not been finishing her coffee lately, so the other day I found a half a cup of coffee in the microwave that she put in to warm up and forgot. So I don't feel too bad about stealing some more coffee from her. Oh, stop it, honey, stop it. Leave me alone. I'm sorry. I'll put it back. And there's my mother. This is 1970s. This says 1970s. This is 1976. I'm going to say the Elsinore West Marina. We are attending Machado Elementary. That little cat, I believe his name is Charlie Chaplin, had a little mustache, I think. Felix or something. My sister would know. This is Gypsy. This is my mother. These are perfect examples of 70s patterns, right? Yeah. This is just a beautiful shot here. To me, this says 70s. She was pretty, huh? That's awesome sauce right there. Uh-oh. These little guys are two kids in, he's got a Jaws t-shirt on. That's so cool. These kids are up in Woodland Hills at a place that we called Charlie's house, George's house. And it was a friend of the family who let us use his house for a brief period of time. And this is me in all my sadness. I spent the rest of my life like that. And you go with what you know, right? I think throughout my youth, I was probably happiest in the 80s because I spent a lot of that time away from home, right? Out experiencing stuff. From the time I started ditching junior high in the 7th grade and spent 6 weeks at the end of the school year away from school. I would just get up and walk past the bus stop, right? And just do. And I just spend every day by myself. Or over at a friend's house hanging out. But it was from then on, I was much happier when I was just out away from home. And so at 15, I was gone. I was out of the house. But I pretty much felt like this until then. Hey, and there's Robert. And he always felt like that. Running around shirtless and shoeless, getting into trouble, getting rowdy. And there's Gypsy. And there is Gypsy, never too far away. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. And that belly button. And that grin that says, hey, I'm in trouble. When we got Gypsy, she was already almost 10 years old, and she was a retired police shepherd. This dog right here. That was in 69, 68, 69, right? And yeah, it was a couple of years, it was a few years before this. It was in the 60s when we got her, late 60s. And even though she was already retired and old, she stayed with us for another 10 years before she passed away, right? I was just here at Sierra Madre Canyon. And hopefully when my brother comes down, my brother and sister and I will be able to go back to Sierra Madre Canyon and take a tour, you know, because that'd be something. Of course, a lot of it's changed, and the houses are different. This is early in Sierra Madre Canyon, so she's really young. She's just learning to walk. You know, I'm probably between 4 and 5 years old. I'm not even in school. Robert has yet to start school, I believe, or has just started school. Yeah. Most of this still looks the same. The house that we lived in is gone, but the neighborhood still looks the same. Many of the houses look the same. Oh, look at that. So I'm going to assume that I'm happy because I'm listening to my little record player, right, in my little engineer jumpsuit. I remember that plane. It had no wings. There's a flashlight, or perhaps a telescope. One of those little Fisher-Price dudes. And this grubby little kid. Look at those eyes. Even then, man, those eyes were already starting to hide stuff. So I'm probably happy because I'm listening to Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, or Puff the Magic Dragon, right? My favorite songs at the time. Hey, with a great shot of the old man and some great fabric. You know, let's just take some awesome fabric and turn it into a curtain. And then look at this. There's a tapestry hanging up on the ceiling here. Probably hiding a speaker up in here, right? There's a cord. Or going to a lamp in the center. Wow, that's a heavy shot there. I remember that belt. Used to take that belt off and snap it. Scared the pants off us. Yes, sir, Baba Rooney. The old man. The old man. Uh-huh. What's this? She's doing laundry? That's unheard of. That's crazy talk. And at this point, we're probably doing laundry in one of those big tub, old 1950s tub washing machine with a little top that you take off and you throw your stuff in, and it's got a motor outside of it that does this to it, you know, and you have to constantly work with it, and then you pull it out and have to change the water to rinse it, and then you have to pull it through one of those crank things to dry it out and to squish all the water out, right, and then hang it up on the line. I believe that's what we were using at this point, because this was a 1930s or 40s cabin built in Sierra Madre for a little hunting cabin, and some guy just rented it out to us. We stayed there for years. My father said he would just put a little money in an envelope and send it to this guy's post office, and he never heard from the guy. He just kept sending money. You know, I did the same thing up in Mammoth. I had a little A-frame, just a little wedge of an A-frame on the end of a big A-frame. It was just a little room, just a little tiny studio, and I would just go to the bank and deposit this month, and then mark it on the calendar and send the guy a note or put on the thing. But I just, you know, it was real easy to rent that little place like it was this cabin here. And I like to look at the stuff around, you know, to see what's going on in here. Whole wheat, unbleached. So this is flour, thing of flour here, and some kind of old alarm clock. And that's probably the kitchen area there. I know it was a weird little cabin. was like a big one-room cabin, and then had added-on room, and then another added-on room, and then a little added-on bathroom. But it mainly started as a one-room cabin. Yeah. Gee, I wonder where that is. Now, this is an early photo from the 1970s. This is probably our Plymouth vehicle here. And the neat thing about this photo is how low the lake is, how low the water is. So low that this jetty shoots way out here, and then there's this little path that comes into this, right? And that's pretty heavy. By a little channel here, because the water was so low, there was only this little channel to get through into the marina. And that's what I remember, because at that time, my father bought us, we were living in a motorhome right here, and my father bought or traded for a couple of mini bikes, and we used to take them out here and drive them around. And we spent all summer driving around out here on mini bikes, and then all of a sudden the bikes were gone, and we moved, and I don't remember anything about what happened to those mini bikes. They probably got traded. We probably traded some, some dope for them, and then they got sold off to pay bills, right? But we had a blast during that summer using those things, and God, it's just so crazy how it was so low that all you could do was get through this little boat channel through here, and you can't even see the channel there because of how high this was, And then this is gone. This is a lot smaller. The water's all the way up to here, This is mainly gone. Wow. Yeah, Lake Elsinore, 1975, 76. Ah, Gypsy. This is at George's house in my parents' bedroom. I remember this. I remember this stuff over here. Galliano. Candle. I remember that vase. My mother had that vase for a long time. And this little vase with the flowers on it, the gold inlay. Ah, those were the days. To reboot my comments here, because sometimes I miss stuff. Oh, that's right, I got more coffee. Wow, I've been talking and looking at photos so much, the morning's almost done. Well, just let me know if you want me to stay around longer, or do something, or look at anything specific. Did you say Pacific? Ah, so this is 1973. This is us on our way to Wounded Knee, or on our way to the elections, the AIM, the American Indian Movement elections. I think the candidates were Russell Means and Dennis Banks and another guy. And then, of course, Dick, what's-his-face? I can't remember his fucking name. The goon. But that's my father's grandmother, my great-grandmother. I don't remember her name. Rose, maybe. They were all named after, like, flowers and bushes and emeralds and stuff. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Native American, what are you going to do? So this is going to be 1977, 78. More than likely it's 78. The winter of 78. We're living in Fallbrook at the time, but my father is driving out to Palm Springs and Indio to look for a disc jockey job. And he's got me with him out of school. Like, that happened more than it should, which, leads me down a whole lot of different trains of thought, right? Why me? Why did he pull me out? Why did he spend so much time with me doing all of these different things? And was there something wrong with me? You know, did he feel like I needed the extra attention? I don't know. I'll never know. So we're at Palm Springs, and we decide to go up and have lunch on the tram. Weird thing to do, and it's just he and I on a school day from Fallbrook. I was always getting in trouble, so maybe that's it. One of those times where I'm in trouble. And we take a trip up the tram and go up and have a hot dog and walk around in the snow, because there's still snow up there. My thrift shop sweater. No. So this is 1976. Elsinore, West Marina, looking at the Roadrunner. And then beyond that is, what is that? Kay's Barn? Is that what it was? I don't remember. Yeah. So there's that cat again that was with Gypsy and my mother. There's the Plymouth that was up in the photo looking down over the lake. Here's my sister's playhouse that she got for her birthday, I think. Birthdays, that's when we get the mini bikes. She got this big playhouse, and we got mini bikes. Now, I don't know what the hell this is. It's in all the photos of this, so I know it's in the photo. It's not a photo screw-up, but I don't know what the hell it is. Is it a cat? Is it a dog? That doesn't look like a tail. Fucking mongoose? Some kind of dark entity that has creeped into the photo through a parallel dimension? Fuck if I know. Fire ring. And Robert, of course, was on the Little League Brokers. He was on the Brokers. I was on the Bears. Of course, the Bad News Bears, because I was on the team. I was outfield. And boy, when I was outfield, I was out. In my uniform, I sat in the outfield and sat or laid down in the outfield. I'd hear the of somebody smacking the ball with the bat, and I would just be laying down. I would just put my, and if it happened to come into my fucking mitt, then I would catch it. I didn't want to play baseball. My brother wanted to. So if my brother wanted to do it, then they just had me do it too, right? Well, it'd be normal and do it like your brother. You know, if I'd got a birthday present, it was whatever they gave my brother, right? And that was just the way it was, you know. I'm not harshing on anyone, you know. It's like, I wasn't them. I didn't make choices for them. I didn't live their lives. I didn't go through all the things, so I can't judge them. I mean, it is what it is. It happened. You know, I don't hate anyone. You know, I don't hold any animosity toward anyone for any of this bullshit. You know, it's just bullshit. It's just life. You know, it's just the way it happens. You know, it is what it is, man. But, yeah, birthdays were weird. So this is us being escorted in Wounded Knee to the Pine Ridge Sheriff's Department, Rapid City or something. And we've got a cop in front of us and a cop behind us. And then at some point there's a couple of Jeeps with some National Guard. And the short of the story is that my father, from Pasadena City College, working at the radio station, went back there to get into Wounded Knee, do some interviews, get some photographs, and then get back out and bring the story back to California, the real story, right? And so that's what happened. And at some point we got busted while he was not there. And then after he got out of Wounded Knee, hooked up with us, and we shot back to California without getting busted, but they kept track of us for 10, 12 years. We were on the list, so we moved around a lot, and that's the short of the story. That's why we were nomadic for most of my youth. Back in Sierra Madre. No, this is Fallbrook. This is Fallbrook. I'm that same kid with the 42. Now I've got an 18. Robert's got his Wings shirt, right? This is Buster. And, of course, Brandy. It's Christmas, so you can see a little bit of Christmas decoration here. This is a Christmas where I didn't ask for anything because I never know what to ask for. But what I got was like some of the best Christmas stuff that I ever got. I got a pair of Bushnell binoculars and a microscope kit with all of the little things to look at through the microscope and some books on how to use these things. And I don't remember whether it was mine or not, but I remember the Evel Knievel dude that you put on the bike and you put him in the thing and then you crank the thing and let him go and he takes off and he jumps. I remember we had one of those there. And then a bicycle. I remember having a bicycle. And I drive around on my bicycle with my binoculars and a little notepad and a bag. And I was just me. I would do my weird stuff and write things down and chart things and graph things and make notes and that's what I did. Yeah, now, right around the same period of time that this is going on, I had sustained a head injury, right? So, right before we had moved into this house, I had fallen out of a tree, and, fallen is a loose term, but I landed headfirst on a rock, and it split my head wide open, right? Not only that, but it created a whole issue with headaches and memory and emotion and anger and frustration about things not working right mentally, right? And so it wasn't easy from here on out. It wasn't easy ever really going to school because I was always so fucking different, right? Look at that milk crate there. But after I had that head injury, it was really hard to deal with people because I didn't even want to deal with myself. As you can see it in my eyes there. There were some periods where I did not want to even acknowledge my existence. This is one of those moments. You can already see in my eyes insomnia starting to take its toll. My face is already starting to show attitude. Look at the difference in my face and their two faces, and even the dog's face is happy, right? And this is the same place where I was with my grandmother and my mother and my cousins and my sister all in one photo, and me over the top, with my arms over my mother and grandmother. And they hated each other, and I think they hated each other because of me, right? Because I wasn't really. Anyway, so I was very manic. I was very back and forth, happy, pissed off, sad. Same period, Christmas, my mother and father, my father especially, he really loved to decorate for Christmas. He was really festive. He did this pretty much wherever we went. He would take things and just create a wall of decorations. I remember the last time that he did this when we were living up in Old Mammoth, back in the mid-90s. And we shared this house together for a short period of time. And it was over a Thanksgiving and a Christmas. And he did the same thing, just like this, cut out stuff and hung it up on the walls and wrapped a bunch of different things and, made a tree that looked like it was, had a tree for the Brady Bunch kind of thing. It was kind of cool. But he always had a tendency to do that. This is Fallbrook at the mobile home park where we lived. This is Perry Sims, Robert's best friend at the time. At least I believe that's Perry. Could that be a broad? I don't remember. I think that's Perry and his little sister. And the old guy. It's the old guy. Who's this? Asti? Right. Nasty? I don't know, the closer you get, the harder it is. I don't know, man. They're all wearing bell bottoms, kind of, right? Wow. Hey, alright. This is Magic Mountain, 1978. Spring of 78. Good old 1978, one of my favorite years. I was 10 years old. And already pissed off at the world. My goodness. Yeah, I'm just going to keep going. What the hell? I got nothing to do. Maybe the wife will sleep in. I don't think she's got anything to do. Yeah, this is a great one. This is fantastic here. My father's head shirt. That was a great shirt. I mean, this just makes it completely obvious. If it wasn't this that made it obvious, the shirt did it. The shirt cinched it. There's that same belt. I remember that. Both those shirts. Yeah, I will never forget those shirts. That little blue stitched flower pattern and this little stitched border up here. Robert's taking a better photograph. Overall, I don't see his thumb, and everything's framed pretty good. Good old Magic Mountain, 1978. We saw James Brown, I believe. Was it James Brown? Yeah. Pretty sure it was James Brown. I think he had just got out of prison or something again, and was trying to do a comeback again, and came out and did a little residency at Magic Mountain. That was heavy. That was totally heavy. All right. Orale, vato. Look at that kid. Once again, the face says it all. You want me to fucking do what? You want me to do what? You want me to stand here and pose or something? I ain't gonna fucking smile. Fuck yourself. You smile. Yeah, most of the time I was having none of it. I think you can even still see here where I had, it wasn't a big deal for anybody else apparently, because I never got to go to the hospital. Nobody ever talked about it. I never got stitches. I just remember bleeding a lot and having headaches for months, and then everything feeling different after that, right? And not being able to express any of this to anybody, because nobody really gave a shit anyway. They were all into their own thing, so that's it. And at some point when we were about this age, the cure-all for my parents was, just get high. Yeah, but I'm a kid, shouldn't I? Nah, just here, smoke this. So, yeah, this kid, most of the time, I'm having none of it. And I didn't even want this fucking haircut. I told you I didn't want my haircut. Can't you just buy me a brush? Same day. Magic Mountain Petting Zoo. I didn't like this animal. I didn't like to pet this animal. All of the animals wanted to bite me. I hadn't learned how to get along with animals yet, because I hadn't learned how to get along with people, let alone myself. Am I on camera? My siblings had no trouble taking pictures. I hated it. I hate $6 Million Man. I remember that shirt. Yeah. And here I am. I don't even want to look at the camera at this point. I started growing my hair long to hang in front of my eyes, so I didn't have to look at anyone. I didn't have to make eye contact. I didn't have to acknowledge myself when I looked in the mirror. Of course, I just got good at avoiding people's eyes and my own. So, I mean, to this day, I can still go months without looking at my eyes in the mirror. I can do everything I need to do and just not look at myself, you know, or at least not into my eyes. I can look at myself, but as long as I don't look into my eyes, I'm good. You know, I don't like to go there. Nobody should have to go there. That's not a good place to go. Hey, all right. So there's my father's family, right? I always remember him as this guy. This guy. Right. What is this? This is like, it's like a reverse dab, right? What the fuck is that? So there's my father, there's his father, there's his younger sister, and there's his older sister. Sandra, Judy, Bob, and Dale. And I'm going to say this is 1960, probably right before my brother came into the picture. Who the hell is that? I don't know who the hell that is. Who the hell is that? I don't know. It could be one of his siblings. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, no way. That's right. He has younger siblings, step siblings. So there's that answer. All right. Anybody know where this is? We used to hold a lot of parties out here when it was full of water, and you couldn't see any of this crap, right? Out in Murietta, California. Eventually they had to drain it and remove all of this crap and fill it in, because now there's 1 million homes there. I don't know if there's any homes built over this, but I know that you can no longer find where this was. Does anybody out there still watching want to tell me where this particular place is and what it's called? This is, from what I understand, this is a photo of it during its draining. And you can see all of the things, cars, tractors, and whatnot that have been driven into it. Mainly stolen vehicles. Somebody'd steal a car and just drive it out there and get rid of it. I don't remember if they pulled any bodies or were any skeletons in any of these cars or anything. Probably. I mean, you would think that they would solve a few, you know, unsolved crimes here. I got another one? Yeah. So let's look at that one. Well, and I remember partying around this place when it was full of water. right, so if nobody's going to come up with the answer is Silca Mines, the Silca Mine in Murietta, California. All right, and you can tell by the cars that they had many decades of different cars being chucked into this thing. And it was really creepy to party out at this place, right? Daytime or nighttime. Because the top, the surface of the water was always viscousy, right? And there was always little blurbs of oil coming up to the surface. There were bubbles that would come up from the surface. So there was always the potential for you're partying out there and somebody had just dumped a car into that thing, right? Because that's what they did. Steal a car and take what you need off it and then drive it into this big hole and it would just sink to the bottom. Or not really. It would just stack up with all of the other dozens of cars and junk in there. Wow. I would love to have been there during that and have the opportunity to not only look into the hole, but to go through the cars as they come out, right? You think maybe they had a police detective there checking license plates and stuff? I would, right? That's crazy stuff there. That's some crazy. Hey, all right, we're back to the real world here. Some good people here. They're not really motorcycle riders. Maybe he is. But this is Tracy, and that's Pat. And I sure hope I get to see Tracy real soon. Unfortunately, Pat is going to be in the memorial video. Rich and Charlotte's house, her parents, over here. God, I remember that car. I don't remember who owns that car, but I remember it. Oh my gosh. Well, if Kendra's still here, she'll recognize this. I gotta leave this one here. Halloween, baby. Halloween. Halloweeny. Oh, I love this. This is so frickin' 80s here. This is so totally 80s. Four of my most favorite people from back then. That looks like a couple of joints in a bag because that's about the right size for a joint. Yep. I used to go by and hang out with Charlotte in the mornings before school and get a couple of joints, hang out, have some conversation, and then take off and go to school. And I would usually be there and up and gone before anybody else in the house was. It was just me and her hanging out. You know, me and another mom. Great. It's great. Oh, and that's it. That's all she wrote, people. That takes care of that file. God, that file chewed up like an hour and a half or something. Well, everybody else has probably gone off to work or off to bed or... I mean, who knows, right? Yeah. It's after 8. What do I want to do? I should probably go out and do some projects this morning with my wife. Since I've been kind of putting stuff off. My stomach has not been... Well, it's been normal, but it just has not been good to me. And that coupled with pain... in various places just is no fun. You know, I don't want to do anything if it's just going to make the pain level that's already maxed out going to take it further. Forget it. But it's early, and I need to hook up a battery into that Saturn and get it up and running, empty it out, pump up a tire, and then decide, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to be able to drive it down to Thousand Palms? Or should we get a trailer and try to take 2 vehicles down to Thousand Palms and sell them, right? Because my wife shopped around and said, as long as they're complete with all their components and we deliver them, she'll get way more money for them because of their weight and year and whatnot. And if they pick them up, we're going to get, you know, a lot less, $100 or more less. So I'm like, all right, well, let's just weigh it. You know, if it's going to be a logistic nightmare to get them to get them down there to them, then let's just eat the extra couple of bucks and just tell them to come out. We'll get one over to the other, pick them up there at the same spot, and, you know, get a couple of $100 less. Figuring we'll probably have to spend a couple of $100 to get them down there, right? A battery, and gas, and a trailer, and some kind of vehicle to pull the trailer. It's just like, we want them gone, out of our name, and make a few bucks. I'm not even going to think about trying to do this swamp cooler because it's already a swamp in here. The air conditioner can't even get this place from being muggy. So yeah, I'm just going to keep puttering around here doing projects. My daughter and I are going to Killers to go see the Killers in Vegas next week. So I got to get psyched out for that and get geared up physically. Try to take care of my, try to do my eating habits so that I'm not bothered. Try to get good sleep before then, days ahead of time, so I've got a good sleep routine and a good eating routine. 2 days away from home. 2 days and 2 nights. 2 nights and 2 days, right? We're going to get out there in the evening and go right to bed, and then have the day to do stuff and go to the concert that night, and then get up the next day and have time to do stuff on our way out of town, kind of a thing. But it'll just be me and my daughter, you know, daddy-daughter adventure. And we didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to do this when she was growing up because, you know, I was always working and she was always in school. And now her schedule is really flexible because she's at university, and I'm semi-retired, partially disabled. I ain't good for much, but I can drive. I'm still a driving machine. So we do a lot of that. We do a lot of going and doing stuff together. The two of us, the three of us, the two of them, her and her friends, whatever. But I like that, you know, we're able to do stuff now. And then later this month, she and I again are going locally to see Jeff Lynne's ELO. Finally, in my life, I get to see ELO. Wow. And then from this August to next August, where the reunion is going to be happening. And all the stuff during the year in between that's going to have to happen to make all of this. So I'm going to put a book together with a calendar in it, and in it I will put my updates and my information and plans and schematics and drawings and lists and graphs and charts and all of that shit, and get it all in there. Have a physical representation of the event, right? Because it's gonna be crazy. We'll have it set up so that people can show up last minute and say, a friend sent me this invitation. Show us your phone. Okay, that's great. Your friend sent this invitation. Here, donate some money. Here's your wristband. Go on in. And have last-minute people show up. It's not going to be you have to plan for it ahead of time. It could be, you know what, fuck it, I'm driving out there. You know, I only live 4 hours away. I heard last night was off the hook. I got to be out there for tonight. And just get up and drive out and be there. Hook. It's gonna be off it. All right, people. I'm about to the point where I need to get my act together and get out into the world and do stuff and have some fun. All right, so you guys, take care. Have fun. Be nice, be kind, spread peace and love. Go out into the world and do something for somebody, not just yourself. Help out, don't hinder. And, stay weird. Ah, jeez. And get in touch with me about the whole reunion thing, because I am available 24/7. Find me on Facebook, hit me a comment, shoot me a message, and we can talk about the reunion. How can you help? What do you want to do? Can you donate time, money, whatever? All right, people, love you. Stay weird. Adios.